Tyler Gelbert, driver of the 04 mainly asphalt Camaro. We're watching XCAL on Tella TV.
Esto es XCAL League, soy Octavio Rondoletto y me verás arriba del Tella 77.
Hi, this is Angelo Esposito, driver of the 33 machine, and you're watching XCAL Racing on Tella TV.
Hi, this is Kenny Tripp, driver of the main model truck service Camaro. You're watching XCAL Racing on Tella TV.
Hey, ich heiße Rafael Sempro und bin der Fahrer des Wagens mit der Nummer 74 und ihr guckt XCAL Racing auf Tella TV.
This is Ryan Soper, driver of the number 84 RS racing car, and you're watching XCAL Racing on Tella TV.
Good evening, my friend, and welcome to the XCAL Racing First and 15 300 live from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and you're tuned in live to Tella TV. Tella TV, where the best broadcasts in iRacing happen. And we are getting ready to go around the North Wilkesboro Speedway for 300 laps in the street stock today with the XCAL League. This one should be a doozy. Taking you through the heat races. The four heat races yesterday were won by William Karp, Stephen Rex, Octavio Rondoletto, and Kenny Tripp. Those four drivers won them in a wide variety of ways, everything from leaders wrecking in front of Kenny Tripp, a disqualification of Brian Eady that put Stephen Rex in victory lane after the race, a late race pass for the win by William Karp, and utter domination as per usual by Octavio Rondoletto. It has been epic so far. We do, however, come into this race with a little bit of a heavy heart today, as we have got some very unfortunate news before the start of this one. One of fan favorite drivers, Johnny B, driver of the 062, unfortunately he got some very terrible news this morning that his mother Marie passed away. So our thoughts are with the Brancaccio family, as Marie Brancaccio has passed away, unfortunately. Fortunately, though, I'm sure she is resting easy and she is being joined again by her late husband. I'm sure they're together again and whatever is in the great beyond. And so just make sure you keep the Johnny B and his family in your thoughts, as we are certainly very sad to hear that news. Kind of a damper on today's events. But Johnny B still here racing. At this point, he kind of came out to the track. I'm sure he had a long day of taking care of the business he had to take care of. Probably a long, sad day filled with a lot of time spent with his family. But here tonight, he decided, instead of just sitting around and being sad and thinking about how sad he is, he decided to race tonight. He decided to bring that car out on the racetrack. So Johnny B is out here with us tonight, and we are very happy to see him. And I'm sure everyone's rooting for Johnny B to have a good run tonight. So we have practice wrapped up, and I'll tell you what, in practice, it was the mainly asphalt cars were looking awfully stout. The mainly asphalt cars in practice took the top four spots on the leaderboard, so mainly asphalt, maybe they found something here. As we get ready to go grid, though, here's your starting lineup. Starting on pole position will be the number 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. In second will be the 08 of William Karp. In third will be the number 28 of Stephen Rex. Fourth will be the number 12 of Kenny Tripp, and fifth will be the 454 of Luke Turpin. Sixth will be the 03 of Clinus LaBeouf. Seventh will be the 01 of John Schwartz. Eighth will be the 66 of Kendrick Crayer. Ninth will be the 1 of Brandon Varney, and 10th will be the 06 of Cody Jones. And 11th will be the 48 of Jordan Babinger. 12th will be the 17 of Heather Patrick. 13th will be the 16 of Pat Sullivan. 14th will be the 062 of Johnny B. 15th will be the 99 of Tyler McRae. 16th will be the 7 of Jeff Edgar. 18th will be the number 20 of Jose Gaudino. 18th will be Derek Olson in the number 5. 19th will be Art Hendren in the number 37. 20th will be the 25 of Bruce Helmuth. 21st will be Tyler Batchelder in the number 53. 22nd will be Tyler Gelbert in the 04 after an epic heat race number 4 that ended with him getting spun. 23rd will be the 82 of Alex Gangler. 24th will be the 19 of Greg Holes. 25th will be the 24 of Jeremy Leto. 26th will be the 31 of Josh Rogers. 27th will be the 07 of Kyle Streichars. 28th will be the number 2 of Ben Eaton. 29th will be the 13 of Darren Snyder. And 30th will be the 52 of Marty Zakala. Rounding out our field, starting shotgun on the field in the number 699 will be our 31st place starter, Matthew Baer. So we have 31 cars looking to take the green. That's a pretty good turnout. There were 33 drivers that were eligible to grid. It looks like, unfortunately, Noah Carpenter and James Seawright, their cars were not able to get to the grid, so we will not see them in the field tonight. But still, 31 of the 33 drivers taking the green. And we are getting ready to get this thing underway as we come down the front stretch in the turns 1 and 2. The field is behind that iRacing Ford Mustang, and it's going to be a familiar sight out front. Octavio Rondoletto bringing the field to green. You'll notice on the outside, new number, new paint scheme for William Karp. William Karp has signed with Big Block Motorsports, joining Aquinas LaBeouf, John Schwartz, Cody Jones, and Jeff Edgar, running teammates with them. So a new teammate for that team is William Karp now, and the 08 joins them. Here we go through turns 3 and 4. Rondoletto has the field in tow. The pace car makes the hard left-hand turn. Our flagman, Dal Jr., holds the green flag in his hand, and he lets it rip. Green flag in the air. We're down and away, and Karp on the outside did not go at all. Kenny Tripp gave him a big shove in the bumper. Karp's going to hang on to it as Karp slides up the racetrack. He will hang on for the time being. And now here we go. Aquinas LaBeouf drives right up to the outside of Stephen Rex as they race for third. Side by side, they go for the third spot. It's going to be on the outside. Kenny Tripp getting clear of him. Now Aquinas LaBeouf's going to try to follow him through. LaBeouf will clear him, so move LaBeouf up to the fourth spot now. A good early move there for LaBeouf, gets him up to fourth, but up front is Octavio Rondoletto, who's opened up a big gap on these guys right out of the gate. Here we go, a pass for about the fifth position as Kendrick Crayer's made his way around Stephen Rex. So now Crayer finds himself up in that fifth spot. Rex drops back early. Here comes Crayer now to the inside of LaBeouf. LaBeouf got loose and went up the racetrack a little bit. That allowed the hole to open up for Crayer. Crayer drives that thing down low, and Kendrick Crayer now has that car positioned up in position number 5. So nice move there by Kendrick Crayer early on to take away the fourth position. As behind them, they still battle side by side. Teammates John Schwartz and Cody Jones are going at it for 8th and 9th right now. Looks like Schwartz on the inside will take that position away, and now Jones is left to fight for 9th. On his inside is the number 1 of Brandon Barney. Barney drives that car down the low side of the racetrack. He gets real close to the door of the 06, however, he's going to hang on to it. Barney and the 06 continue to duel for 9th and 10th, and it looks like Barney on the inside, and the number 1 machine will take that position away from Jones, In front of them, Luke Turpin and Stephen Rex race side by side. It's going to be Luke Turpin taking over the 7th spot there. We have had a change in position near the front. It looks like there wasn't a change in position. It's just Aquinas LaBeouf is running real close to the bumper of Kendrick Crayer now. So now Luke Turpin runs in 6th. Behind them, they're side by side for 7th. Stephen Rex will get around Barney, so Rex will hang on to his position for the time being. Still, these leaders are going to come up on lap traffic here really quickly, as every car that started this race actually had a clean start. So immediately, as this isn't that big of a track, only 0.6 miles here in North Wilkesboro, these guys are already closing in on some lap traffic. And speaking of closing in, we have William Karp starting to reel in the leader of Octavio Rondoletto a little bit. That 08 car is looking stout here early on in the run. Kenny Tripp still in 3rd. He has a mirror full of Kendrick Crayer. Crayer running right in his tire tracks. So we look back behind them, looking for the first battle. Looks like Stephen Rex is under siege right now from the 01 of John Schwartz. Schwartz trying to peek that machine to the low side of the Rex 28. Rex, though, doing a nice job keeping that car up high, hanging on for dear life on the 01 of Schwartz. As everyone early on, just trying to get some heat in these tires, and I will say everyone's done a pretty good job so far getting these cars, the heat in the tires up. Everyone's doing a good job keeping the cars clean right out of the gate. Haven't seen anything too hectic or scary, and as I see that, I see a cloud of smoke. I'm not sure what happened. Looking down the front stretch, seeing if I can see a wrecked car. I don't see one. Looks like everyone keeps it going. We are side by side now for the 8th and 9th positions. Here comes John Schwartz to the inside of Stephen Rex. Schwartz in the 01 drives that car off the low side. He's going to get around the 28 of Rex, so move Schwartz up to 8th and Rex back to 9th. Now Rex might be under siege from Cody Jones in the 06. We'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye up front. The battles are starting to heat up near the top 5. Aquinas LaBeouf in the 03 is hanging right on the bumper right now. Kendrick Crayer in that 66. I mean, he is just all over him, trying to make sure that he gets up there and duels with that number 66 machine. Still, all 31 cars are on the lead lap, as now Octavio Rondoletto starts to close in on some lap traffic. The first car he'll have to lap will be 31st place runner, his teammate Jeremy Leto. Leto and Derek Colson battling for 30th right in front of the 77 of Rondoletto. Rondoletto gets a good run off the corner, and he is now right on his teammate's bumper. Let's see if Leto just lets him go. As here we go, Rondoletto looks to the inside of his teammate Leto, and it looks like there will not be any letting go right there as Leto continues to drive the high side. But it looks like Leto's trying to leave the door open for Rondoletto. And this time through the corner, Rondoletto gets a good run off. Rondoletto does get underneath Leto. Let's see if Coulson gets out of the way too. They both go up the racetrack, and they do get out of the way for Rondoletto. So they're both going to hang on, and Rondoletto successfully puts them a lap down. Here comes William Karp now to the inside of Leto as they're trying to put him a lap down there, respectively. Looking back in the field, we do have a great battle going on for 8th right now. Here we go, Cody Jones and Tyler Jalbert racing side by side. I'll tell you what, that 04 of Jalbert's been quick all weekend, and he drives that car up through the field. Move Tyler Jalbert now up into that is going to be 9th position. So Jalbert gets around Jones for 9th, and Jones will have to slide back into 10th. So Jones is just going to try to take it easy here for the time being. As we have all of our leaders, though, battling with these lap cars right now up front. Derek Coulson runs on the outside of William Karp. You have 2nd through about 7th right now, all underneath the blanket as Rondoletto's checking out as these guys race with the lap cars. And it is the 08, there we go. Karp is going to clear the 5 of Coulson, so now Karp moves up one more position, and Kenny Tripp in the 12 machine is going to follow him through. So those two finally get around the lap cars. They're going to have to deal with another one, though, as they work their way up to Matthew Bear. Bear runs right in front of them. Looks like Bear's just going to get out of the way, and he does. So the 08 of Karp goes around the Bear, and now all these guys still battling to get around these lap cars as Coulson and Leto haven't made it easier on anyone besides Rondoletto, as we just have a whole string of cars right here. William Karp, Kenny Tripp, Kendrick Crayer, Clinus LaBeouf, Luke Turpin, and Brandon Barney. That's 2nd through 7th. They're all pretty much under a blanket right now. You can almost throw a blanket over those guys, although Karp in 2nd has started to pull away a little bit from Tripp, and he is actually starting to track down Rondoletto. Rondoletto does have a clear racetrack in front of him until he gets up to 28th. That is Jose Gaudino, who's going to have to put a lap down. It's the 77 of Rondoletto still driving that car strongly around the racetrack. As we look a little bit back, trying to find the first side-by-side battle, looks like Clinus LaBeouf right now. All over the back bumper right now, that's 66 of Kendrick Crayers. Oh, LaBeouf gets a little bit into the wall there. Tough break there for LaBeouf, but he's able to hang on to the car, and it looks like he's no worse for wear. So Clinus LaBeouf keeps that thing facing the right way for now. He has a mirror full of Luke Turpin, though. As the 454 now dives to the inside of LaBeouf, there will be nothing there for him. And Turpin just made LaBeouf overdrive the corner a little bit. He's trying to make him eat up his tires. Turpin playing the strategy here, just trying to do his best to make his competition drive harder than they want to. Up front, our leader of Rondoletto does work into some more lap traffic. He's caught 28th, Jose Gaudino. Gaudino goes to the high side, and he's just going to give way to the 77. So Gaudino trying not to be any sort of an issue here for our leaders as he just moves out of the way for Rondoletto, and Rondoletto goes around. Let's see if Karp is as lucky, as Karp actually has really started to reel in our leader of Rondoletto. He has it down to about half a second. Karp catches right up to the 20's bumper. He dives down low. Karp drives underneath the 20 of Gaudino, and now Karp will set his sights on Octavio Rondoletto in the top spot. Good run there for William Karp as that 08 machine. Just has been very fast in the heat races, but the thing about Karp that's been impressive is early in the run, that car really doesn't have much speed. He hasn't done a good job of getting that car going early on. But as the laps wear on and we get more and more laps on the tires, it's like that Karp 08 just gets better and better. He has certainly been a long-run type of guy this weekend, and in this feature race, it looks like it's been no different. He's starting to catch Rondoletto as the long run continues on. Here come the more of the leaders around the lap car, Jose Gaudino. Update, Luke Turpin has gotten around Clinus LaBeouf for 5th. So Turpin now up in the top 5 after starting in 5th. He looks on the bumper right now of Kendrick Crayers. They're all over each other battling up there for these positions. Another pass on the racetrack. Tyler Jalbert has gotten around John Schwartz for 8th, so Jalbert picks up another position, and a good move there for Jalbert as he now has that car positioned up in 8th. We'll set his sights on Barney in 7th. So we still have Turpin running all over the bumper right now with Crayer. Up front, though, it is William Karp. He's really started to reel in Rondoletto. Rondoletto's car looks like it's getting a little tight as the run goes on, and Karp is quite the opposite. It looks like that car is driving smooth around the racetrack. Karp is just able to drive such a smooth line in 1 and 2. He catches right back up to the 77 of Rondoletto. And for Rondoletto, that car just looks like it's dragging a little bit off the corner a little bit, while Karp is just driving right off. This time by, another little bit of ground made up by Karp. He closes it down to 0.2 of a second. Karp running right in the tire tracks now, the 77 of Rondoletto. And Karp is not what you would call an aggressive driver. He is the type of guy who's going to bide his time, wait for the opportunity to make his move, and when the opportunity presents itself, he's going to make it. And now Karp looks to the inside as Rondoletto gets into the wall. There's the opportunity, and he's going to take it. Karp drives it in. Nothing doing there. He's just going to slide back the line behind Rondoletto. What I meant by that statement is, though, William Karp not the type of guy to force the issue. He's the type of guy that's just going to kind of bide his time, take it easy, take some deep breaths, and keep that car underneath him and just wait for the guy in front of him to make a move. And that's kind of compared to an aggressive driver, I would say, like Luke Turpin. Luke Turpin won't do the same things Carp's doing. He'll move you out of the way. He'll try to give you a bump. Luke Turpin and I'd say a guy like Tyler Gelbert certainly qualifies a little bit more aggressive as compared to the 08 of Carp, who isn't quite aggressive. Although right now he's all over the 77 of Rondoletto's bumper. I think he wants to get around him. I think he's starting to understand that if he doesn't get around Rondoletto, the cars behind him are going to start catching up to him, as they are, as Tripp and the 66 of Prayer catching right up to these leaders. And now Carp realizing that, hey, you're really starting to hold me up here, Rondoletto. I need to find a way around you. Rondoletto continues to drive that car off the corner. And now it's kind of like our top five right now. Aquinas LaBeouf and Brandon Varney have started to lose touch a little bit with that top five pack. So things are getting a little bit more spread out, but at the same time they're getting tighter. As here we go, battle's on for fourth. Luke Turpin looks to the inside of Crayer. Nothing doing there for Turpin. Turpin's going to keep that car out of the way as up front our leaders go around the lap car of Jeremy Leto once again. Now our leaders catch right up to the bumper of the lap car of 27th place, Alex Gangler. And Gangler will get right out of the way. No, Gangler holds up Leto. They're all going to get around him, though, successfully. Looks like Gangler was just trying to let the leaders go. And now we have the top five all under a blanket here as Carp is running right on the bumper of Rondoletto. As, Gangler gets into the wall. Gangler gets hit by Leto. Gangler's going to hang on. Almost an issue there with lap traffic, but everyone keeps it moving the right way, so no worse for wear there. Has a hectic moment there. Almost made me lose my breath. Up front, though, still nothing William Carp's been able to do with the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. Rondoletto just kind of holding up the pack right now, I think. Here comes Carp to the inside. Carp looks to make a move. There was just nothing there. You really can't make the pass in 1 and 2 on the inside. There's just not enough hole there to dive your car down low to try to make the move, especially because the high side's kind of the way around the racetrack in 1 and 2. Here we go now as Luke Turpin makes his way to the inside of Kendrick Crayer for fourth. Crayer, though, going to drive that car off the corner. He's going to get up even with the 12 of Tripp for third. Crayer with a power move on the outside. And it is the 66 of Kendrick Crayer now on the outside of Kenny Tripp. He's looking to take that spot away as he drives right up top. And Crayer drives that thing off in a 3 and 4. Let's see if it sticks. Tripp gets a little loose. It won't matter. Crayer drove high in the corner. And now Crayer's going to be held up by the lap car of Art Hendren. And Crayer just has to let off the gas, and he might have to slide back in the line as Hendren's going to get out of the way. So these boys will get around Art Hendren here. As up front, the battle, though, still wearing on as our leaders dueling nose to tail. Here we go. Carp gets a little bump there to Rondoletto. He sends him up the racetrack. Carp gets to the inside. He has the nose in. Carp drives it into the corner, but Rondoletto just drives it in deeper. And as of right now, Carp is just not able to do anything in 1 and 2. If he wants to make this pass, he really has to make a good move here on Rondoletto in 3 and 4. Rondoletto kind of thrown a defensive lane there down the backstretch. A little early in the race for that, but I mean, this is an intense battle up here right now. I'm sure these guys want the airtime. That 77 Telesign TV car wants to keep that car out in front. What I find so cool about XCAL is those top 3 cars, they all have real sponsors. That 77 of Rondoletto is actually sponsored by Telesign TV. The 08 of Carp, he's actually sponsored by First and 15. And that 12 of Kenny Tripp, he is actually sponsored by Temp Setters. I mean, how cool is that? Just shows the realism that this XCAL Racing League has. As these top 4 are all under a blanket, they're starting to pull a little ground now between them and Luke Turpin in 5th. Catching up to Turpin in 5th, actually, is 6th place runner Brandon Varney. Varney's doing good. He got around Aquinas LaBeouf, who's in 7th. 8th is still Tyler Gelbert, but he has a mirror of John Schwartz in 9th. And rounding out our top 10 is Cody Jones in the 06. So that's your top 10 as they run. Up front, though, here we go. Battle for the lead. Looking to the inside's Carp. He has the nose in heading into 3. This is just what Carp needed. Carp drives it down low into the corner. He slides up the racetrack, and the 77 to Rondoletto gets loose. He's going to hang on to it. Carp's going to take the lead. It's going to be the 12 now. Tripp driving underneath that 77. The battle's on for second. Let's see if Carp can put some distance between him and the field. He'd been waiting to get around the 77. He's finally done it. Let's see if the 08 has the speed to pull away now. As the 77 of Rondoletto still races to the high side of Tripp, though, not making it easy on Kenny Tripp. Off the corner, Rondoletto actually does get the run down the front stretch, and if he has a good 1 and 2, he's probably going to clear Kenny Tripp. He does clear Kenny Tripp. So the 77 of Rondoletto is going to hang on to second position for the time being. Rondoletto still up in second place. Third place will now be Kenny Tripp. Fourth still Crayer, although Crayer has a mirror full of Luke Turpin. Luke Turpin trying to stick the nose in there. Great racing here from North Wilkesboro. And actually before the week, in the XCAL Discord, where all these drivers kind of chat and discuss things with each other throughout the week, it was actually the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto said in there that he thinks this is going to be the race of the year. He said that the race of the year was incoming. And from what I've seen in the heat races, what I saw in the truck race, and what I've seen in the first quarter of this feature event, he wasn't lying. This thing has been absolutely epic so far. So here we go. Kenny Tripp works to the inside of Octavio Rondoletto. That Tripp number 12 car drives that car down to the low side. Let's see if he can make it stick in 3 and 4. Kendrick Crayer cuts the nose off of Luke Turpin, but it doesn't matter. It's Tripp battling for second, and they are a dead heat at the line for second position. Meanwhile, William Karp starts to put some distance between him and second. That Karp number 08 looks like it's hooked up right now. Off the corner, Tripp still runs to the inside of Rondoletto. Here comes the 454 of Turpin to the inside of Crayer. Turpin gets to the inside of Crayer for 4th. Turpin will take 4th position away from Kendrick Crayer. That battle for second is still raging on, though, on the outside. It is Rondoletto refusing to quit his own. Him and Tripp make contact. They both get loose. They both hang on to it. Tripp's going to take second. Tripp does take the position away. Now Rondoletto has to get back into position and fight. Here comes the 66 of Crayer now to the inside of Rondoletto. That 77 of Rondoletto heading the wrong way fast right now. That car looks like as the long run goes on, he's starting to lose speed. William Karp now is a second lead over these guys. They're beating and banging and racing pretty hard for second. That's just what he wanted to see. The 77 of Rondoletto, though, on the high side of the racetrack. He's done a nice job keeping that car racing up there, but now Crayer gets a good run through the corner, and Crayer is going to all but clear him down the front stretch as the 77 of Rondoletto might just be looking here for a hole to slide in the line. Crayer on the low side runs a little higher on the racetrack than the car on the low side you'd like to see. Doesn't matter, Crayer clears him. Move Crayer up to 3rd. He's going to throw the block on Rondoletto. It won't let him make the crossover. And as both those cars work for 3 and 4, it is Crayer's position. So give the spot to Crayer now, as the battle for the lead is actually heating up. Heavy lap traffic William Karp's found himself in. He's trying to get around the 52 of Marty Zakala. Zakala is not giving his position up easily. And now the 08 works right on the bumper of Johnny B. Like I said pre-race, it's been a tough day for Johnny B. So far in this race, though, a decent run for Johnny. He finds himself in 24th right now, still on the lead lap, although that's about to change as Karp works to the inside. And I'd say so far from what I've seen in this race, lap cars are going to be the biggest difference in this race. Who can get through lap traffic the best? Who's going to deal with them the finest? As Karp does finally make his way around the 062 of Johnny B. So Karp does get around him, as does Kenny Tripp. However, due to that lap traffic issue that Karp had, that let the top 4 pretty much get under a blanket again. As this is epic up here in front of the field. Karp now still drives that car off the corner. He makes his way up to his teammate of Jeff Edgar. Let's see if Edgar just heats way. Edgar goes up the racetrack, and Edgar in 23rd is just going to let his teammate Karp go by. So Edgar gets out of the way, and now let's see if Edgar maybe makes things interesting here. Let's see if he races with Kenny Tripp. He will not let Tripp just have it. Tripp drives the nose, and Edgar, being the respectful driver he is off the corner, he's just going to let the rest of the guys have it. So Tripp goes around, Crayer goes around him, and now we're going to see the 77 of Rondoletto get around him. Here comes Turpin, and the whole gang gets around him. Still in 6th is Brandon Varney. Varney has caught up to our lead pack. He's done a good job catching these guys. 7th is still going to be Clinus LaBeouf. 8th is still going to be Tyler Jalbert. 9th still John Schwartz. And 10th place is still Tyler McRae has made a pass on Cody Jones. So McRae now runs in 10th position. Up front, though, heavy lap traffic for our leader of William Karp. He catches up to Godino, Stephen Rex, and Derek Coulson. He's going to dive underneath Godino. He's looking for a hole to maybe go to the outside of Stephen Rex. As here we come, the 08 car of William Karp. He peeks to the inside of Stephen Rex. He makes it 3 wide with lap traffic, and now Kenny Tripp gets to his outside. They are side by side for the lead. Tripp goes up the racetrack. Karp just trying to find a hole. This is tight. They are 3 wide with the lap car with 3rd and 4th. Very, very tight racing here. These lap cars are not heating way, and to be quite honest with you, they don't have to. Here we go. Karp now looking to make his way around the lap car of Rex and Coulson, and I mean, he is just trapped right now. Tripp drives to the outside of Karp. Now Coulson they're going to be 3 wide with. They all get around Coulson. Here comes Kendrick Crayer for second. They are 3 wide as they race for second position. Kendrick Crayer to the inside of Kenny Tripp. It'll be Tripp on the high side of the racetrack, though, as now, the 08 of Karp gives Rex a bump, and that is going to move Rex low on the racetrack. Karp's going to try to go around the high side. Karp will go around the high side as Crayer sticks it in the middle. They are 3 wide once again for second. There's a car in the wall. I believe that's Coulson. And now the battle's on for second as they negotiated their way through that lap traffic. Very epic racing going on here up in the front of this field as this has gotten more and more intense as the laps continue to go on. Here we go, still side by side for second. It is Kenny Tripp on the high side. Kendrick Crayer doing a good job on that high side. And it's going to be Kendrick Crayer now. It looks like he has cleared Kenny Tripp to the second position, so move Crayer up a spot. Luke Turpin now works his way into this battle. He wants a piece of this action. William Karp, though, once again with clean track in front of him, and he is doing a good job. So as William Karp starts to put a little distance between him and the field, we are getting closer and closer to lap number 62, as the lap number 62 is going to be ran in silence, as we are going to honor Johnny B, the 062's late mother, passed away unfortunately this morning. Johnny B's mother, she was a beloved mother, a mother to 4 children, unfortunately passed away this morning. However, I'm sure the family is happy to know she'll be joined in heaven by her husband, her late husband, and they will hopefully have some time for healing with the Brancaccio family. As it is unfortunate, but you know what they say, nothing can happen more beautiful than death. Death means the end of all struggle, death means the end of all pain, death means the end of all harm. So unfortunate end there for Johnny B's mother, and very sad for the Johnny B family, but I'm sure that they're going to get some peace of mind knowing that their mother and father are rejoined again, and that hopefully they can have a peaceful ceremony celebrating her life. As they go side by side for second, Luke Turpin's trying to make the pass here on Kendrick Crayer on the low side. William Karp comes around this time, puts lap 61 in the books, and Karp continues to put laps in the books as these guys race so aggressively for the second position. As Crayer gets into the wall a little bit out too, Turpin's going to take over second, Octavio's going to go up to third, and this time by the flag stance, lap number 62, and we're going to have a moment of silence to honor Johnny B's late mother, Maria. Now we'll enter a moment of silence, honoring the life of the late Marie Brancaccio, mother to Johnny B. May she rest in peace, and may her family find peace in these difficult times. So we go back up front. Luke Turpin has taken the lead away from William Karp. The second is going to be Karp, third will be Crayer. Green flag pit stops that started here on lap number 65. A lot of cars have actually already come down in the pits. Here we go. Karp's going to come in this time. Karp gets in hot, but he does make it into the pits. So William Karp comes down in the pits. Looks like Kendrick Crayer is already in there. John Schwartz, who's in fourth, looks like he has yet to come down pit road. He's going to come down this time. And really the only car that has yet to pit is Luke Turpin in the 454. So here we come as Luke Turpin runs on the low side of the racetrack. Let's see if he cuts it in this time. He won't. Turpin keeps it out there. And Luke Turpin, I think, is waiting for his chance to come down in the pits. Everyone else is pitted. Maybe he's trying to trap the few to lap down and maybe catch a caution. That's the only thing I can think here with Turpin in the 454. Turpin now drives it down in 3 and 4. Let's see if this is the laps. He gets his nose cut off a little bit, and still nothing doing there for Turpin. He is not coming in the pits. He's going to try to run that thing dry, it looks like, as Turpin continues to turn laps in heavy lap traffic. He is the only car that has yet to pit. Everyone else is down there on pit road getting service. Looks like everyone else has been able to rejoin the track and get back out there. So we wait on Turpin, as it won't be this lap either. In 1, 3, and 4, he's on the outside of the racetrack. And the Turpin 454 playing the long game here. And, this could be part of the strategy. He might know a little something and know that if this race possibly goes green, if he wants to make it to the end, he needs to make it on gas with these extra few laps. Let's see what happens. It looks like the 454 does pull down a little low this time. He hits the curb, and not coming down pit road again is the 454 of Luke Turpin. So Turpin is putting these laps in the books. We're looking at the battle off pit road. It looks like Kendrick Crayer off of pit road has gotten around William Karp. So whenever things do cycle out, Crayer will either be in second or the lead, depending on how things go. We'll have to see how Turpin's pit stop cycles out. As here we go in 3 and 4, Turpin pulls low on the racetrack, and Turpin's coming down in the pits. Luke Turpin makes the left-hand turn, and he has come down pit road. So Luke Turpin will come in the pits to end the cycle of pit stops. Here's how everyone else is cycled out, though. So whenever we get things out of the way, actually, I'll just wait till Luke Turpin's pit stop's over, so maybe we have a good idea. Let's see what Turpin does here. He brings that car into the pits. and they're putting a full tank of gas in it. Here they go. They're putting right side tires on it to jack that car up. They're drilling on the right side tires. So they drop the right side. Let's see if they do go with a full 4-tire stop or maybe just right sides. They run around to the left side and they jack the car up. It will be a full 4-tire stop for Luke Turpin. So that team, all 4 tires are going on, and they drop the car now, and they're just waiting for the last couple gallons of gas to get into it. We will see how things cycle out here whenever we get things done. Luke Turpin is just waiting. He's like, can I go yet? Can I go yet? They're telling him no, they need to get that thing packed full of fuel so he can go as long as he needs. As it does take quite a bit of time. These aren't NASCAR fuel cans. This is just pretty much an old fuel pump that you pump the gas into these cars, and he will come out of the pits, but however, he will be in second. It's Kendrick Crayer with the fastest pit stop. Crayer's going to take the lead. It will be Turpin in second, though. Third is going to be William Karp. Fourth, Octavio Rondoletto. Fifth will be Kenny Tripp. Sixth will be Brandon Varney. They do race for third, though, and it's Rondoletto on the inside of Karp. Karp, remember, he's not that good on cold tires. Rondoletto takes the position away from Karp for the time being. Seventh place when things cycle through are going to be Tyler McRae. Eighth is Quintus LaBeouf. Ninth, as high as he's ran all night, will be Jordan Babinger. And rounding out our top 10 will be John Schwartz. A car with some rough pit stops here. I'm trying to see. I feel like someone dropped from that top 10. It's Tyler Jalbert. Tyler Jalbert had a real tough pit stop. He is down to 27th, so a tough break there for Jalbert. Troubles on pit road, but as things do cycle out, Kendrick Crayer's team wins the first pit stop. He now has a 3-second lead over the field as the Crayer team did an excellent job getting that 66 pump full of gas. Crayer finds himself in the lead. We're on lap number 74 of 300. We're going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Telesign TV. And welcome back. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and you're tuned in live to Telesign TV as we are back here. Green flag, still no cautions as I knock on wood, 77 laps into this feature event, and up front it is all Kendrick Crayer. Up to second position now is Brandon Varney. Third's Rondoletto. Octavio Rondoletto in a tough battle right now for third with William Karp. Karp still working to the inside of that 77 car. And we have second through about sixth, all under a blanket right now. The only thing that's changed is Crayer somehow got a great pit stop, and he really separated himself from the rest of these guys. So Crayer's out in front by quite a bit, but the rest of the racing's been pretty epic. As these guys all run under a blanket pretty much. Still 15 cars on the lead lap. Still all 31 cars are on, or actually, excuse me, 30 of the 31 cars are all still on the racetrack. Matthew Baer has taken his machine behind the wall, so one car is out of this event. But still the rest of them are out there racing. As this one has been, needless to say, entertaining so far. As we look at this battle, though, that's brewing for third, it looks like Rondoletto was able to pull off the advantage there on the 08 at Karp. So Karp will be back and forth. Third will be Rondoletto, and Brandon Varney now up to second. He's starting to set his sights on the leaders. He works through some lap traffic. Here comes the one of Varney now to the low side of the 24 of Leto. Varney drives that car underneath him, and now he'll make his way underneath the 52 of Marty Zakala. A great race here for Marty Zakala so far. Zakala running in 18th. His first XCAL event that he's actually trying to run the distance. And Zakala in that 52 has kept that machine out there running near the front of the field. So Zakala right now, a strong top 18 run right now. As up front, it's still Kendrick Crayer by about 4.5 seconds over Brandon Varney. Remember, before the pit stop started, Kendrick Crayer was running in third position. However, his team must have just really got that gas into the car quick as they got him in and out of pit road quicker than anyone else. Crayer did just put 15th place Darren Snyder a lap down, so we're down to 14 cars on the lead lap. As pretty soon Crayer will start catching up with Steve Rex in position. Looking around the track, though, trying to find the best battles. Still, we have third through fifth, all under a blanket right now. As looking behind them, seeing if maybe the battle has heated up a little bit for seventh and eighth, and it has. We have right now, it looks like Tyler McRae has worked up to the 03 of Quintus LaBeouf. He runs right in his tire tracks. Behind him also, Jordan Babinger and John Schwartz not too far behind, so 7th through 10th, running relatively close to each other right now. And an update to you, my viewers. You might be wondering, where's my right-hand man, Paul Coleman Jr. tonight? I have got word from him that he should be joining pretty soon. So hopefully right-hand man Paul Coleman Jr. should be here, but we are getting to about 1/3 point this race, so we'll just have to keep our ears open and hear if Paul is going to come by sometime soon. Still, not a whole lot has changed, though, in the running order. These guys run nose to tail, but no one making any sort of move right now. And we are probably about 10 or 15 laps past the... Actually, here we go. Move for third. Looks like William Karp's looking to the inside of Octavio Rondoletto. Karp drives that car to the low side of the racetrack. He gets a good run off the corner. Karp runs right to the inside of Rondoletto, but in 1 and 2, Rondoletto with that high side is just able to pull away a little bit. But as these tires heat up, we're about 10, 12 laps into this run. This is where the tires start to hit their sweet spot. As Karp does dive that car down in the corner, he's able to get the wheel in there, and now he's trying to pull the gap off in the 77. What I was trying to say, though, this is really where the William Karp machine starts to get strong as the heat is in the tires now. Karp has made his money this week on the long runs, and now the car has the proper amount of heat in the tires. We'll see if Karp can start to maybe reel in second place Brandon Varney, as it looks like he is going to clear the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. Luke Turpin has also gotten around the 12 of Kenny Tripp, so Luke Turpin now up into the 5th spot. Turpin runs right behind the 77 of Rondoletto. He's going to be looking to pick up another spot here. Turpin peeks to the inside now of Rondoletto. Turpin's making the pass for 4th. Luke Turpin has the nose in as they go down into 3 and 4. And Luke Turpin on the low side, he is going to maybe clear the 77, not quite off the corner. The 77 is going to hang tough. If they head down into 1 and 2, the 77 wheels that thing on the high side like he has been all night long. But Turpin, with the low side of the racetrack, the shorter way around, he will drive that car up off the corner, and they head down into 3 and 4. And it will be Luke Turpin in the number 454. He's going to take away 4th position from Octavio Rondoletto. Now Rondoletto under siege from Kenny Tripp. Tripp, though, not really with a nose in as they go to 1 and 2. And really not much room there for racing for Kenny Tripp, as he's just going to have to keep that car tucked behind the 77. Now he peaks down low as they head towards turns 3 and 4. The 12 of Tripp dives that car down low and off the corner. Kenny Tripp will pick up the 4th position over Octavio Rondoletto, although Rondoletto's not done yet. He does fight back on the outside. However, Tripp on the low side of the racetrack, it does seem like this time in 3 and 4, he probably will clear the 77. As here we go. Down in 3 and 4, the 12 car drives it in. And it's going to be the 12 of Tripp off the corner. And yes, Kenny Tripp will clear the 77 of Rondoletto, but he gets loose. That'll allow Rondoletto to get right back up to him. In front of these guys, Brandon Varney has been caught by the 08 of William Karp and the 4054 of Luke Turpin. So Karp just looking to make a move. Here comes Karp to the outside of Varney. Karp races the high side. Varney kind of drives him a little bit up the racetrack. Varney gets on the pedal now as they come off the corner. And it is so tight there for the 2nd position, but it's Karp on the high side. Looking like he's going to maybe get the run through 1 and 2. He will. He drives that car up off the corner, and William Karp on the top side of the racetrack. Luke Turpin makes it pretty wide, and Varney's going to let out of the gas a little bit. And here we go. Looks like Paul Coleman has joined me in the broadcast booth after a long while. We have a great battle going for 2nd between Turpin and Karp. But Paul, here we are almost 100 laps into this race. Still no caution. I mean, what a great race so far.
This has been an excellent race. I've been sitting here in traffic listening to your call. I believe it was Octavio Rondoletto said this was going to be the race of the year. Judging by the traffic and trying to get into this place, it was absolutely insane. I left. I thought I could come back, but yeah, it was a late arriving crowd. They're still filling in. And my God, that was an amazing move there by Luke Turpin, using traffic perfectly there to get himself into 2nd place.
So he now finds himself up to 2nd. Here comes Karp to the inside of Varney for 3rd. Karp drives that car to the low side. He will clear Varney, so Karp's back up to 3rd now. Varney will slide to 4th. As the battle for 5th has simmered down, Tripp has taken the position away from Octavio Rondoletto. Looking through the field, keeping an eye on some of these battles. Really, everyone is kind of running nose to tail right now. And you know what, Paul? I'm kind of impressed with the XCAL drivers right now, because these guys are racing and they're going for positions. You know what I'm not seeing, though, Paul? I'm not seeing anyone making that extra aggressive move this early in the race. I think as we run more and more of these endurance-style events, I think a lot of these guys are really starting to learn the strategy of these things.
Absolutely, especially after Texas last week, where we had, 2 wrecks in the first 4 laps or so. These guys realize that this is a 300-lap event. We're going to have multiple pit stops. We're going to be taking tires a lot of times. We're going to have some strategy involved, and they're just kind of biding their time.
And Paul, you want to hear the most impressive stat? There is still yet to, I'm knocking on wood, there has not even been like a spin out yet, Paul. All 31 cars that started the field have been wrecked. Matthew Baer did take the car behind the wall due to a transmission issue, and caution is out. I jinxed it, Paul. I do that every time.
Announcer's curse, PD. Announcer's curse.
Caution is out for the first time, but honestly, Paul, 100 laps into this race, these drivers might need a break, and it's 5th place Kenny Tripp and 4th place Octavio Rondoletto. They got into it. That's how the caution started. So 2 of our top 5 runners all race long with heavy damage, as we'll see the replay in just a moment. Replay is up, and here we go. They're racing side by side for 5th and 6th, and it looks like Tripp was really pinching the 77 down low. 77 came up into him, and then Tripp spun off the corner, got into Rondoletto. Rondoletto and Tripp both went hard nose first into the outside wall. That destroyed the 12 of Tripp. Looks like Clinus LaBeouf might have got a little piece of it. The 77 of Rondoletto definitely got a piece of that, as that car has some nose damage on it as well. And that was the first caution of the race. So, Paul, we went 100 laps, though, a third of the distance in this one, caution-free.
That's absolutely amazing, and your voice is held up. Looks like everybody's pitting there. They should be very careful. Tripp just kind of left half of his car down pit road as that thing exploded as he was coming down pit road.
So we will see. Now the field will be caught back up to Kendrick Crayer, and we are going to try to catch word with Kenny Tripp, who was involved in that wreck. We're going to try to get perspective there from Mr. Tripp, as an unfortunate wreck there took him out. We're down at the Infield Care Center, and we are here at the Infield Care Center with Kenny Tripp. And Kenny, great first third of that race. Unfortunately, looks like something happened there between you and the 77. Take us through what happened.
We just got to worry about fixing it and get back out right now.
10-4. So as you can see, the Tripp team, he's already running back to the car. Kenny is trying to get back with his team and work with them, so we're going to let Kenny focus on that. But Paul, looks like the Tripp team still holding out hope, as he actually ran right away from us down there at the Infield Care Center trying to get back to the car.
I mean, that's a driver. If there's any chance to get something fixed and get back, I mean, it looks pretty torn up though. So I know his chance at winning's there, but these XCAL fake points, as you will, definitely do still count for something. And he's got to get his best foot forward going into the 2021 season. So got to get laps when you can get them.
Well, all these cars down pit road right now taking tires and gas. We're going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Telesign TV. And welcome back here live on Telesign TV to the First and 15 300. My name's PDJ Zettler, the voice of XCAL Racing, as we have had what can only be described as a doozy for the first third of this race. I think it'd probably be unreasonable to expect the second third of this race to go as clean as the first third. Here's your updated running order, though, after everyone came down pit road. Luke Turpin's going to be in first. Kendrick Crayer, who led a lot of the second half of that first run, is in second. Third is going to be Octavio Rondoletto, although he does have some damage on that car. Fourth will be William Karp, who's led the most laps in this race so far. Fifth will be John Schwartz. Sixth will be Brandon Varney. Seventh, Clinus LaBeouf. Eighth, Jordan Babinger. Ninth will be Steven Rex. And 10th will be Tyler McRae, Paul, as we have 13 cars on the lead lap.
Absolutely. One thing I didn't hear point out on the radio, but I heard word, actually Jordan Babinger, you mentioned that he had moved up. He actually used some great pit strategy. He was the first guy to pit. I know now pit strategy's kind of got out the window, but look for that again on this next run here to see if Jordan short pits to try to move up through the field.
Well, tell me, Paul, do you think this run we see more of the same, another long green run, or do you think maybe it's time for maybe one or two little wrecks here?
Could be. The 100 laps in, maybe I'm out of shape, but I ran the Super Truck race, and after 80 laps, my hands were starting to hurt. So, maybe, guys' arms starting to get a little tired, a little bit, patience may be wearing out. I think we'll get a wreck before lap 160.
Here we go. The pace car makes the hard left-hand turn. Dale Jr. waves the green flag as Luke Turpin jumps out in front. Turpin takes the top spot away. He gets loose as he goes into the corner. That lets Crayer get right back up to him. Rondoletto peeks to the inside of Crayer. Nothing doing there as they race for fourth now. It's going to be Karp taking the position away from Schwartz. Schwartz will slide in the line in front of Brandon Varney. We still have 29 of the 31 trucks who took the green within 5 laps of each other right now. Kenny Tripp is on pit road getting that car fixed. Tough break there from Tripp team. Up front, though, it is Kendrick Crayer all over the bumper right now of Luke Turpin. And I'll tell you what, Paul, that Crayer car showed a lot of speed in this heat race. And so I don't want to say it's surprising he's been running as well as he has so far in this race, but I think Crayer has really shown us that that's more than just a heat race car as Rondoletto looks to his inside. I think Crayer has shown us in that first run, if nothing else, that the 66 is a contender for this win. Oh, he gets loose!
Until he hit the wall, Mr. Announcer Jinx.
A little bit of announcer jinx. He is going to hang on to it. He won't be worse for wear. He does lose some spots to the 25 of Bruce Helmuth goes around off the bumper of Marty Zakala. We'll see if that draws the yellow. The 25 keeps it up against the wall. He keeps it up against the wall, and everyone's going to go by him. No caution will fly. So a tough break there for Helmuth, who's running in 20th. But back up front in the field is still Luke Turpin out in front. He leads over the 77 of Rondoletto. Now William Karp's in third. Fourth is going to be John Schwartz now, and Kendrick Crayer makes the pass on Brandon Varney for fifth. So Crayer no worse for wear, Paul, and now that we're done jinxing him, that car, in my opinion, has been the biggest surprise here early on.
Absolutely, no. He showed that he had the stamina to go through towards the end there. He was leading. I've been a big fan of his ever since the first race. We kind of share car numbers. I raced the 66. He races the 66. And we both like Brewster's Ice Cream. But, I think he's got the stamina to go through, and he'll pick him off here one at a time and make his way back. It's going to be hard to beat Turpin and Rondoletto, but I think he's got a chance to at least round up the podium.
And now for the first time in this race as well, we see John Schwartz running up in the top 5. That 0-1's made its way up to 4th as he was running in about 8th or 9th that whole last run. So that caution, good pitch strategy, has him up in the top 5, and he's going to try to hang on to it. We're down to just 11 cars on the lead lap as that little incident there with 25 trapped a couple cars a lap down. So 11 cars in the lead lap. That was a third of the field, though. We had 33 cars scheduled to take the green as things still get spread out. And Paul, one thing you got to watch for here too now, what I've noticed on these runs so far is it seems like whenever the tires get worn in, it seems like that 77 of Rondoletto starts to fade. And after, I'd say, probably mid-run, that 08 of William Karp has typically been the fastest car on the racetrack. So give it about 5-7 laps here, you're probably going to see the 08 start to catch up with these two leaders.
That's absolutely true. As we learned in the Super Truck race, tire management's everything. Rondoletto, with that short run thing, he short pitted. He took tires at halfway, and he was able to zoom up. So, he's definitely not about tire management. Whereas Karp, you got to about 60 laps in, you got to really start looking at managing your tires. So, money's on Rondoletto if we have short runs.
Kendrick Crayer's made his way back up to 4th. He somehow got around John Schwartz, and Schwartz has moved back to 6th, though. I don't know if Schwartz had a moment there, but he's lost 2 spots rather quickly, but no damage on the car, so if he did have a moment, it couldn't have been anything too bad. He still runs up there in 6th, right behind those two, so maybe he's got shuffled out of the way a little bit. Rondoletto is starting to catch up to the 454 of Luke Turpin. Paul, let's talk a little bit about the North Wilkesboro Speedway, though. Obviously, this was a staple on the NASCAR schedule from the 1950s until the mid-90s. And unfortunately, then NASCAR left the track for some of the bigger cookie cutters and left this track to go into a state of ruin. However, today our flagman is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and the story with that is Dale Jr. was actually the one who pushed for iRacing to get North Wilkesboro on here. As I'm sure as many of our viewers know, and I'm sure as you know too, Paul, Dale Jr., not just a big name in NASCAR, he is actually a really big fan of the history of auto racing. Like, he is all a nerd about the history of racing, and he wanted to find a way to preserve the speedway that he watched his dad win on a bunch growing up. So he actually talked to iRacing. He went himself to the North Wilkesboro ruins, laser scanned what was left, got the details for iRacing, sent them to them. And Dale Jr. pretty much single-handedly got iRacing on the service. So when he heard that XCAL Racing for the first time was going to go there, he jumped on the opportunity to be the flagman and flag for the track that he helped get back on the schedule. But Paul, what a great job by Dale Jr. Someone with a guy with a name like his, he really doesn't have to do much for the racing community, but that guy really does do a ton for not just the real racing community, but the virtual one too.
Absolutely. I mean, Dale Jr. has been around since he was a kid. Racing back in the NASCAR by Papyrus, however you want to call it, back when we used to have to dial in and pay by the minute to race online back in the early 90s. Dale Jr. was a huge supporter, and yeah, he did a fantastic job with this track. I actually live about hour and 15 minutes away from this track, so I've had the opportunity to see this in person, and my God, they made it look exactly like it did back in '96. Granted, I haven't seen it in '96, but it looks a lot better here on the iRacing service than it does in real life. But yeah, you got to give it to Dale Jr. And if you haven't had a chance, not that I want to promote other networks, but that Peacock thing, and I'll get to that point in a second as we have a yellow flag.
Caution's out as we will get back to Paul's point in a minute. I liked where you were going with that, Paul, but we do have to address this caution as we do have a car around, it must be. I'm trying to find out where this caution took place. We had a big pack of cars racing. I don't see anything there. And I'm not really seeing any cars around. Maybe the 31 of Josh Rogers? No. Paul, did you see where that caution was? I am not finding anything.
I did not, but we do have our leaders pitting. I'm going to try to look back, see if the spotters have any information. But it's the leaders pit. You can call the pit stops, and I will try to find out what happened.
10-4 is that, yeah, I don't see anyone has lost a lot of positions either, so I'm not sure what happened there. As actually Jordan Babinger might have been involved. Babinger finds himself back in 11th now, and he was running higher than that, I'm pretty sure, so we will see if maybe Babinger got collected in that. I'm not completely positive. Not sure what happened there, but we are under caution for the second time in this race on lap 125. Jeremy Leto was black flagged, so I'm going to assume that the wreck was caused by Jeremy Leto. Not sure what happened there. We may or may not have a replay up for you in a moment. Regardless, I cannot see what happened there. Still 29 of the 31 cars that took the green flag are out there racing. Kenny Tripp's crew is still working vigorously to get that car put back together. As Octavio Rondoletto, our only leader to come down pit road, everyone else stays out. Rondoletto, and looks like also a few of the cars further in the pack going to come down too. But Paul, as that happens, we're actually going to try to get a quick word in with one of these guys running up front, and let's see if we can maybe...
Really quickly, it was in fact, just got confirmed from a spotter, it was Jeremy Leto self-spun in turn number 1. Looks like he had some internet issues too as he did that.
All right, so we are going to try to get a quick word in now with one of the leaders. Let's see who's running up front. The highest car that I can see that we have contact with is Clinus LaBeouf, so we'll try to get word in with him as we're going to move Clinus up here. And Clinus LaBeouf, it's PD and Paul up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Clinus, early in this race, looks like you've done a good job keeping that car out of trouble. You find yourself running in 4th right now. So tell me, what have you learned early in this race, and what did you learn from that long 100-lap green run we had to start this thing?
I learned definitely a lot about my car, my driving style here at Wilkesboro. Definitely learned that this car is definitely long run. It's basically the living hell, or AKA 2020 in with if it don't get the tires warmed up. So that's basically all I've really learned. I just gotta take it easy and keep all my anger inside my head, don't let it show, because I know I had a couple issues, and I mean, look where I am now. I had to work my way all the way through the field.
Well, Clinus, you find yourself running in the top 5 right now. Obviously, you've learned quite a bit about the car. Tell me, Clinus, do you think that this 03 has a shot at winning this thing as the race continues on?
Ooh, I want to. I want to say it. These other guys are like wicked fast, but I know we definitely got a shot at it. Just gotta keep my head clean. Pit crew gotta be fast, and I think we'll have a pretty good shot to get up there.
Clinus, tell us something. This is called Coleman up in the booth. How bad's that fall off from like 50th lap onward? Is it pretty bad, or is it still manageable for you?
It really depends on the driving style of that driver. I know for me, I think the first set of 100 laps or whatever, they fell off very quickly because I used it up a lot because I was trying to keep up with those leaders. But it depends how much you save in and how your line is.
All right, Clinus. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll let you get back with your team. Best of luck, buddy. Hopefully we talk to you after this thing.
All right, 10-4.
That's Clinus LaBeouf, driver of the number 03, currently in position number 3 right now. As we're getting ready to go back green here, next time by we will be getting the green flag. Paul, I know you were in the middle of a thing about Dale Jr. and Peacock. I do want to get back to that because that was a really good point. We'll let him go green for a couple laps and get back to that, though. It's going to be Luke Turpin in the lead. Second place will be Kendrick Crayer. Third is going to be the 0-3 of Clinus LaBeouf. Fourth, Brandon Varney. Fifth, Octavio Rondoletto. Sixth, William Karp. Seventh, Kyle Strychar, his highest he's ran all night. Eighth, Stephen Rex. Ninth, John Schwartz. And 10th, Tyler McRae. So we have 14 cars in the lead lap. Also on the lead lap, Cody Jones, Pat Sullivan, Greg Holes, and Jordan Babinger. Here we go through 3 and 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang makes the hard left-hand turn, and Turpin gets on the go pedal. Green flag back in the air, and Turpin takes the top spot away from Kendrick Crayer. Crayer, though, dives that thing to the high side of Turpin, and I mean, he drove that thing in 10 car lengths deep. He made it stick somehow. Crayer off the corner gets a good run on the high side. That 66 has been looking racy tonight. I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with Crayer. He drives that car off the corner. It's going to be Turpin get clear for the lead. Crayer will slide in a second. Third now is Brandon Varney as he has slid up in front of the 0-3 of Clinus LaBeouf. LaBeouf gives Varney a little bit of a tap there, and LaBeouf's going to slide in a line. So it looks like everyone got single file pretty quickly throughout the field. And Paul, we're going to send it back to you for the rest of your point about our flagman Dale Jr.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Dale Jr., like I said, has been, super fan of the old school racetracks, and he actually has a show now on the Peacock channel, which you can just go to any app store, download as part of NBC, and it's called Lost Speedways, and he actually looks at different tracks. Like there's one in Hillsboro, North Carolina, which was really, really cool. He goes out there with the Cambridge Petty, talks about, so he doesn't not only just go to the track, but he normally finds some old drivers that race the track, tells some really good stories. There's a track in Georgia where they used to have a moonshine still thing underneath the track, and that's how the track was operated. If you're really into the history of NASCAR and just the history of racing, and you want to see some of these great old school personalities, check out Lost Speedways. I think we're going to have a season 2 too, but there's 8 episodes, half hour each, best 4 hours you could ever spend. Awesome stuff.
And speaking of Lost Speedways, just referencing North Wilkesboro, Paul, we talked about how it looks so good on iRacing. I mean, as you see right now, my friend, look at this place. It's so beautiful. They have the mountains just perfect off turn number 1, all the flags in the racetrack, paint on the walls, just everything they did so perfectly here, Paul. In my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful tracks in iRacing. Like, they'd knocked this out of the park.
Oh, they definitely did it justice. Like I said, and a lot of the this debuted as part of the Winter Series or the COVID series that they were doing on Fox, and all the drivers said, especially the ones that had actually seen the track in action, that this track looked exactly to a T and felt like a T, like it did in 1995, which is amazing that they scanned a 25 late. Because normally they'll scan a track and it's as it is, but this track has gone through weather, has gone through wear. Mother Nature kind of took it over, and yet it still had that feel like it did in the mid-90s, which is miraculous what technology has been able to do for us. As there's a car spinning down low.
A car spinning down low, we're going to try to see who that is. I didn't quite get a number on that car.
One of the dropping bombs cars.
That doesn't very narrow it down too well, Paul. There are a lot of dropping bombs cars.
We would have the field. Right, so we can eliminate half the field.
We did the math, Paul, this week. We were starting 33 cars. Dropping Bombs has 11 cars in total. They don't have 11 in this field, but typically they have 11 total cars. If every Dropping Bombs car would have qualified for this race, Paul, 1/3 of the field would have been Dropping Bombs.
That's what I mean. I think when we do the XCAL betting, it's kind of like, when you go to the horse track, you get the 1 and the 1A, and sometimes the 1B. You get about 3 things that fit, but you just label them all Dropping Bombs and have that as on the odds list. You take one, you get them all.
I think that's fair. I like that. Up front, though, it is still Luke Turpin showing the way around North Wilkesboro. Kendrick Crayer's in second. Third, Clinus LaBeouf is battling right now with Brandon Varney. Varney works to the inside of that 0-3. LaBeouf way up the racetrack, and Varney on the low side. He's going to drive that car off the corner. Varney's now up to third. Here we go, racing side by side now for fourth. So Varney gets into the fence. Varney touches the outside wall, and now that's going to really hold up LaBeouf. Rondoletto works to the inside now of Clinus LaBeouf, and that Rondoletto car drives off the corner, and he will try to get around the 0-3. It looks like the fourth position will go to Rondoletto as he does clear the 0-3 of LaBeouf. And now the 77, Paul. I will say, he has not looked as quick on this run as he has early. Don't get me wrong, he's still a top 5 car. Looks like he's not quite a winning car anymore. I wonder if the damage from that wreck with Kenny Tripp has really affected the 77 much.
It could be, or he could just be paid. He's still fourth place, buying his time. We still have, more than half of the race to go there. And by the way, unfortunately, it looks like that was Johnny B who had some issues there, because he was 1 lap down, and now he's 5 laps down, so I think he might have been the Dropping Bombs car.
I apologize there. My mic was muted while I was talking. I said that also could have been Art Hendren, though. Art Hendren was originally 3 laps down. Now he's 7 laps down. That's also a dropping bomb car. So it was probably either Johnny B or Art. Looks like Art, though, is still out there running. I don't see damage on either of those cars. They still should be good to go. Another car has pulled it behind the wall. That's Marty Zakala in the 52. He took it behind the wall. Apparently, they had some sort of power steering issue that he could just not carry on with, so they took that car behind the fence. He is out of the running. Here we go, Luke Turpin.
And this track is hard enough to drive with power steering, so yeah, I cannot imagine.
It is. And Paul, we've talked about it a lot, and I don't want to over-talk about it, but obviously today for Johnny B, terrible, terrible news. His mother Marie passed away, and obviously that's just news that you're never expected to hear. But what about Johnny B? Still showing up here and helping his drop and bomb teammates out, still out there on the racetrack competing today. And, you know, this might be the best medicine for him right now, just to get behind the wheel of a race car and try to forget about everything, maybe just for a couple hours.
Absolutely. I mean, the racers always say that once you get in the cockpit, it's the greatest escape. The world kind of disappears, the world's problems disappear, and they can focus. I know, you know, Johnny B is going to have plenty of time to mourn his mom, be with his family, things of that nature, but yeah, it just, words can't describe. I mean, I know the pain that, you know, he's going through right now. I've dealt with loss like that. It's difficult. I don't know if I could have gotten in and driven, but, you know, sometimes just racing, being around friends like this. I know the run isn't necessarily something, you know, being 6 laps down now is not something to look forward to, but, you know, this is the best medicine, you know, being around people that love, care about you, and doing something you enjoy. And I know his mom's looking down on him right now, smiling, and knowing that, you know, for at least a little bit, he's happy doing what he's doing.
I'm sure he is, and Paul, another thing that worth commenting on here too is the battle for third starting to heat up. Octavio Rondoletto is caught up to Brandon Varney. But what a great showing from the XCAL community, Paul, as here we go, the 08 looks to the inside of the 77, nothing there. But today, the whole XCAL community in their Discord, where they communicate with each other throughout the week, just everyone showing a lot of love and support to Johnny B. Johnny B, I said it earlier and I'll say it again, one of the most beloved drivers in the league. Everyone loves Johnny B. He's just one of the nicest guys in the world, you know. No one ever has an issue with Johnny B. He's one of those guys you really can't get mad at. And it was just so cool to see all the drivers in the league just showing their love and support for Johnny B.
Absolutely. You know, he's definitely the, you say the Norm Benning of the series, right? Doesn't necessarily always run up front, but he's the guy that everybody roots for. If you know anybody, if you needed a part or a tire or help or a setup or something like that, you know, everybody in the community is the first one to go to Johnny B to help. And it was great seeing the outpouring of support. I know I caught that towards the tail end of my teaching gig today, and, you know, I kind of was weeping. Kids were asking what was going on, and I'm like, this is one of our, you know, good close friends lost his mom, and it's just really tough.
It for sure is. Focusing back on the racing now is obviously, we won't forget about that, but for a couple hours, we're going to try to focus on this race. We just passed the halfway point, so halfway down, halfway to go as Dal Jr. shows the cross sticks. And this race is not simmered down at all, though, Paul. Only 2 cautions in the first half, though. Excellent pace. We actually completed the first half of that race in less than an hour, though, Paul, so we're on track for this one to be a quick one.
Absolutely. The fans are definitely getting their money's worth, even if they're not getting the time worth. You know, we've had some good racing. You know, like I said, this is I raced 80 laps in the super trucks, and it took a lot out of me. So I know it's going to take a lot out of these drivers. Stamina is going to be key. You know, they're probably going to wish that they have a caution upcoming here to rest those arms. But yeah, we might be looking at some live pit stops here in 20 laps as well, so they'll get a little opportunity to give a stretch.
Well, we go side by side right now. Here we go, Aquinas LaBeouf and Kyle Strychar's race for 7th and 8th. Strychar's takes the position away for the time being, so Strychar's having a great run today so far. Moves that car up into the 7th spot. LaBeouf will be back in 8th, and now his teammate John Schwartz in 9th runs right behind them. Rounding out our top 10 right now is Tyler McRae in the 99. Still 13 cars on the lead lap. Looking around for some more battles. Looks like the battle for 3rd has simmered down a tiny bit. Brandon Varney has opened up a little gap between him and Octavio Rondoletto. 5th place, William Karp still waits in the wings, as I think William just kind of keep his car straight right now. I think he kind of knows that the top 2 got away from him before he was able to get around these 2 cars, and I think at this point, Karp just wants to keep that car in one piece and make sure it's there at the end of this one. As we look back up front...
Speaking of cars in one piece, by the way, Kenny Tripp is now back on the track, 48 laps down. Getting back in action.
All right, so that'll give us 29 of the 31 cars that took the green flag back on the racetrack. And looking up through the field, though, as we look up, Luke Turpin in the lead. He started to open up about a 2.5-second lead over Kendrick Prayer. And, you know, Turpin really didn't look that great in practice this week, Paul. He didn't look bad. He certainly was one of the faster guys, and we knew he was going to compete for the win. I didn't really expect to see him pull away from the field at any point, though. However, on this run here, Luke Turpin flexing his muscle a little bit. And as we go to an unfamiliar track, not an unfamiliar face at the front of the field, Luke Turpin opening the gap up on the field.
Absolutely. I was going to say, this is a new track for XCAL, new track for a lot of these drivers. First time, you know, probably many of them have ever turned laps in a street stock move. So, you know, Turpin's the wily veteran, and, you know, he might have been at a disadvantage to the rest of the field because he was, you know, on even territory, didn't have, you know, the right setup, didn't have anything. But, you know, give that kid some time, and, you know, he's going to get it down, and he's got it figured out by race day where it matters most.
For sure, Luke Turpin, he always shows up on race day, it seems like, no matter what happens. So just looking around the racetrack, that battle for third is still nose to tail. Carp looks to the outside of the 77 of Rondeletto for fourth. Paul, the biggest storyline here in the XCAL offseason, here we go, Carp dives it down low, nothing doing there, is Luke Turpin. Where will the free agent sign? And it looks like Ryan Soper Racing has been eliminated from the battle, Paul, but a couple new names popped up. One of them, your team, K2 Racing, has tried to ink Luke Turpin. My team, Big Block Motorsports, we have also made a move on Luke Turpin. And now we got reports this week for the first time that the Tella TV racing team, they're trying to sign Luke Turpin too. So actually, all three of us that are in this broadcast booth, Tanner Kalin, the owner of Tella TV, he's in here. He just runs the cameras. You don't hear his voice. We're all vying for Luke Turpin here, man, and there's still no clear indication of where that 454 is going to go. I mean, the man that everyone wants, it just seems like no one can give him to put his name on the paper.
Absolutely. Well, we're all friendly here on the broadcast. Behind the scenes, we're kind of slicing behind each other's back, trying to make Luke an offer. I know I had a talk with Luke late last week about some upcoming things that we might be able to do to make it worthwhile for him and the K2 Motorsports team. He does say he was a fan of barbecue sauce. He likes grilling, so that's definitely something that could play out for us.
And another team that hasn't been in the fold really, though, Paul, but you have to consider, I mean, Dropping Bombs already has 11 cars. Why would they, if they could get a 12th and it's Luke Turpin, do you really think they'd say no?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, even if they were limited to 11, I'm sure they would kick somebody to the curb in a heartbeat to get Luke Turpin. He would immediately go up to the top of that Dropping Bombs list. You know, this is the hottest commodity in XCAL. I mean, I know what I'm willing to give up to get him to run the K2 logo. I'm sure I know what you're willing to give up. I know Tanner's probably willing to, you know, he's Canadian, so he'll give up half of Canada and, you know, some other nice things too. So yeah, hot commodity. The fight is on, bro.
Rumors are actually out there that Tanner Kalin's offered the Northwest Territories to Luke Turpin, so Luke just has all sorts of offers all over the place. Great battle for fourth right now. The outside, William Karp works with Brandon Varney. Varney keeps that car pinned down to the inside of the racetrack. It is Karp, though, getting a good run off the corner, and that 0-8 continues to man that thing to the outside. Karp, this run has not gone his way, as Varney gets loose. That should be Karp's position as he drives it off. He moves up to fourth. So move Varney up one more spot now. Also an update on change of position. Well, it looks like the 01 of John Schwartz has gotten around Kyle Streichar, so Schwartz now up to 7th. Streichar is back to 8th. Linus LaBeouf's back to 9th. We're down to just 11 cars onto the lead lap at this point. So more and more cars starting to end up a lap down. I'll tell you a car that I'm kind of disappointed though with, Paul, is the 48 of Jordan Babinger. This week in practice, we saw him run the fastest lap all week. He ran a 3.88. That was a full 10.5 faster than anyone else ran in practice all week. And he was looking good in his heat races, very competitive. And now here we go as this race continues on. He is just struggling to stay on the lead lap. I don't know where the 48's losing speed here, but they are losing speed.
He's, like I said earlier, he was one of the ones using pit strategy. As we got people doing green flag pit stops, he used some pit strategy early to get himself to gain some spots. I think he's just kind of biding his time. He's still on the lead lap. If he can stay on the lead lap and hang around that spot, even if he does drop one lap down, it'll be the first car lead lap. But Petey, I got one question for you. One question. Can you compete with unlimited maple syrup and unlimited poutine? If Tanner busts those two things out, can you beat that?
I got a ton of buffalo wings. I got more buffalo wings than you can count. I better hope that Luke Turpin's a fan of wings. Pit stops have started. Clinus LaBeouf has come in. There's actually an issue with the 5-car of Derek Colson. He was coming down into the pits, and when he turned off, the 24 of Jeremy Leto just pile drove him as he made the turn onto the pits, and Derek Colson's car actually backed up on top of the pit road wall, and he got stuck up there. His team actually had to run out to the side of the racetrack and push the car off. He lost about 6 laps in the process.
Yeah, I saw Colson was given the old Will Power New Hampshire double finger salute. I couldn't see who he was giving it to, but evidently that must have been the 24 there.
Unfortunate there. Now we have a new driver up to second. William Karp worked to the outside of the 77. A driver making an early pit stop here was the 66 of Kendrick Crayer, so it looks like Crayer might be trying to work the short pit strategy. Don't forget, in the first pit stops, Crayer was running in second, and he came out 5 seconds in front of the field, so Crayer won the first stops. Here comes Luke Turpin, our leader down pit road. Turpin comes in. We'll see if everyone else joins. They will not. We still have Rondoletto, who's going to cycle over to the lead. Karp dives to his inside, though. They're still battling for these top spots. Second round of green flag pit stops here on lap 175, as this one has lived up to the billing as race of the year, as Octavio Rondoletto said in the Discord earlier this week. Here we come by the pits this time. Let's see if anyone pulls it in. They won't. Our top 3 all going to continue to stay out. 5th place is Steven Rex. Looks like he's not going to come down yet. A wide variety of pit stops here. But Paul, last time Luke Turpin was the last guy to pit, he stayed out about 5 extra laps than everyone else. This time, he's one of the first cars to come into the pit. So a varying strategy here for the 454. Got to wonder what gears are turning up in his head right now.
Well, when he stayed out on the long run there, he actually ended up, I think, back in 5th when things all shuffled out after his tires got warmed up. He came back out in 2nd, but, you know, these XCAL Street Stocks there, they take a couple laps for those tires to warm up, and he was in 5th, so I don't think he wanted to get caught in that situation again.
We actually did have a little wreck there. Greg Holes got into the door of the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. Tyler Jalbert came down a little bit on him, and the 19 of Holes wrecked hard on the front stretch. That car was pretty much totaled. He was able to bring it around to the pit, so a caution didn't come out, but Holes has taken that car straight to his trailer. He's out of the race. He is our 3rd retiree, along with Marty Zakawa and Matthew Bear. So now 3 cars behind the wall, still 28 cars on the racetrack. As this one has been an impressive race, no doubt. Up front, they still duel for the top spot, though. Karp racing right underneath that 77 of Rondoletto. Interesting stuff here is Karp dives the nose in. I'll be curious to see when these guys come in the pits. Looks like no one's going to come that time. So here's the guys that still need to pit. Everyone in the top 10 is yet to pit. Luke Turpin is the leader because he has come down pit road. None of our top 10 cars have pitted yet, though. So that's where things get interesting here as we are looking through this top 10 right now. The top 10 as they run is William Karp, Octavio Rondoletto, Brandon Varney, Steven Rex, John Schwartz, Kyle Streichars, Jordan Babinger, Darren Snyder, Tyler Batchelder, and Cody Jones. Those are your cars that have yet to pit, although it does look like maybe Steven Rex came down pit road, so Rex does pit. He is the next of our leaders. From 4th place, he will pit. As our leaders are in heavy lap traffic, they make their way around Derek Colson. They come by the pits one more time. No one's going to come down. That is so tight off the corner. They get around Jeff Edgar there. And I honestly think, Paul, with how close these guys have been running to each other all race, I don't think we've seen our last caution. There will probably be a late caution that bunches this field together. If we have like a 40-30 lap run to end this race, though, I think who wins this race will come down to who can navigate that lap traffic the best, because that has been a big issue tonight.
Absolutely. You give these guys 30-40 laps with fresh tires, gloves are going to come off like the battle between the 3 of us for Turpin, but looking at the lap times right now, and with Turpin mired back in traffic too, and these guys kind of clear with their 3-way battle, they're really only running 1/10 of a second at most behind Turpin. So as long as their fuel can hang out and as long as they can control these cars, they're really not giving up that much space on the track. So, maybe they can get lucky, stay out here, get a caution, and they can pin Turpin down because he's got 2 laps and nowhere close to a wave around spot.
No, and now they're single file, so that only plays into their favor. Another car comes down pit road. Tyler Batchelder has made his pit stop, I believe, so Batchelder gets back out there. It looks like Jordan Babinger in the 48 has come down pit road, and he has gotten in and off of pit road, so Babinger completes his cycle of pit stops there, as we'll see if he's able to pick up any spots. I don't believe Cody Jones has come down yet either. Darren Snyder's still waiting on him, and a lot of these guys just kind of waiting to see when and where it's time for them to come down the pits. Up front, though, no changing here. Here from our leaders is none of them have wanted to come down pit road yet. Looks like Babinger has cycled through to about 13th after his pit stop, so really no worse for wear. Between Kendrick Crayer and Luke Turpin, Luke Turpin still has about a corner and a half on Crayer, so Turpin with a good pit stop, he was able to maintain the lead. Looks like William Karp is starting to open up a gap now on Octavio Rondoletto in second. So.
Barney just dipped down in the pits as well as John Swartz. If strategy plays out here, like final star charts, who qualified 27th, Barney, he might be a contender to stay out as well to try to pin some people down.
I gotta wonder if these guys that are staying out, if they think they can make this a one-stop race after this, if we were to go green, which it doesn't seem likely we go green from this point on, Paul, but the way this race has gone, it's not out of the question.
Oh, it's absolutely not out of the question, but the longer that they go here, then the shorter one that they can have on tires is the 77 bounces off the 12 and goes really high there. But the longer that they run on these tires and the shorter run they have, that's going to give them handling and the opportunity to make some moves here, as the 77 is having a whale of a time trying to get by the 12 there. Looks like he still can't do it, as Johnny B's there in front. He's going to move to the high side. Rondoletto is going to go to the inside. He's still getting pinched. This is hard for him to get around the 12.
Apologies there, as my mic was muted, but I said Kyle Stridechar stuck the hand out the window. He came down the pits. That leaves 3 cars out there. William Karp, Octavio Rondoletto, and Darren Snyder have yet to pit. Here comes Rondoletto coming down in the pit, so Rondoletto will pit this time. He is now the next car to come down, and now we'll just wait on Darren Snyder and William Karp. Snyder is 1 lap down, but he is yet to pit, so that 13 machine is in second. It will cycle through to second after Rondoletto completes the stop. And now everyone waits on William Karp, and it looks like here, Paul, Karp's pulling that same strategy that we saw Luke Turpin pull. He's trying to get as much gas as he can out of this car, really stretch this run as the 08.
Absolutely, and by the way, I can't blame Rondoletto there. Like I said, the 12 of Kenny Tripp was making this car about 3 car lengths wide. Rondoletto was going to wreck trying to get by him, so that was the best thing to pull into the pits, as well as we have a bunch more guys pitting. But I think Karp is actually coming to the pits right now.
There's our leader, William Karp, so he does come down pit road, and that now just leaves us with Darren Snyder, who is yet to pit, and Snyder won't come by this time, so I think Darren's trying to get that Asphalt Motorsports car a little bit of TV time here, so we'll take a look at that gold number 13, as it is going to cycle through to the lead. And looking at what has changed here, Octavio Rondoletto comes out of the pits. Let's see where he is in comparison to Luke Turpin. The 454 of Luke Turpin, I think, will be ahead of Rondoletto, and he will. So Turpin should regain the lead when we get things back going here. We'll have to see. Snyder still yet to pit, though. Snyder will cycle through to the lead this time by. Let's see if Snyder will stay out to try to lead a lap here, as that 13 car is really making his fuel run long here. He runs a little low on the racetrack. This might be the lap for Snyder as he comes by the pits, and it does look like he's coming down pit road. So Darren Snyder comes down the pits. I think he will lead a lap just by virtue of passing the start-finish line on pit road first. So Darren Snyder does get to lead a lap. Actually, he won't. His pit stall is before the flag stand, so Snyder actually never led a lap. William Karp just got out of the pits. Let's see where he got out of the pits in comparison to the leaders. And it will be Luke Turpin cycling through to first. Second's going to be Kendrick Crayer, 2.5 seconds behind Turpin. Third place, let's see who cycles through here. It's going to be William Karp. Karp will cycle through to third. Fourth is going to be Brandon Varney, and Varney actually is making a pass here on Karp for third. So move Varney up to third, Karp back to fourth. Fifth is going to be Steven Rex using some nice strategy, getting top 5. A big loser here, Paul, probably because, like you noted, he had a lot of trouble there getting to the low side. Octavio Rondoletto has been shuffled back to 6th, 14 seconds behind our leader.
Absolutely. Well, Rondoletto lost, I want to say, a good 3 or 4 seconds just mired in traffic behind Kenny Tripp there. So that and staying out longer than most other guys there definitely affected his speed or his position on the track.
Well, up front, it is Luke Turpin, as things have worked out well for him here, and he has clear racetrack in front of him. It is Kendrick Crayer. Kendrick Crayer is the only other car in the same zip code as him right now. Crayer 2.5 seconds behind him. Then you have to go all the way back 12 seconds to Brandon Varney in third. Huge lead for Turpin outside of Crayer. And right now, his contact's made in front of Crayer. Derek Colson's going to flip down the backstretch. That's going to be a caution. Yep, Colson flips down the backstretch. Caution is out. And just as I say that, it's really up to Crayer to go challenge Turpin. We're going to have all these boys back together on fresh tires, getting ready for a restart. So caution was brought out by the 5 of Derek Colson. We'll have that replay up for you in a moment as he went over on Replay is up, and Derek Coulson, he was racing side by side with Bruce Helmuth, and it looks like Coulson might have just pinched Helmuth a little bit down the backstretch. Coulson got loose, went into the wall right in front of second place Kendrick Crayer, then skid on his roof. Luckily, that car ended up flipping over onto its wheels, so Coulson was able to keep it moving. But that is our third caution of the race here, as our leader Luke Turpin comes around the flag stand. He's going to come into the pits and top that car off on gas, as it looks like also Crayer will. We're going to have Varney come down. Karp will not come down. Rex will come down. Rondoletto is going to stay out. John Schwartz will stay out. Tyler McRae will stay out. And Jordan Babinger will stay out, as will Kyle Streichar. So, Paul, mixed bag of chips. Half the guys come down pit road. The other half stay out here.
Yeah, interesting strategy. Depending on some of them, 191, we got 109 laps to go. Everybody's going to have to at least make one more pit stop after this. I like the strategy. If it was me, I'd probably stay out. Unfortunate, though, for the 13 there of Darren Snyder. If he had got that caution 2 laps earlier, he'd been a different game, but now he's 2 laps down and won't even get away around.
And honestly, I like the call to stay out by Karp and company. Karp literally just came down the pits like not even 5 laps ago, and if he pitted now, he'd still have to make another pit stop, and if he pits when he's going to pit anyways, he's going to have to make one pit stop. So I think the right call was made by the 08 team. I think definitely staying out was the good strategy, and it looks like the top 4 will be the cars that stayed out, as eventually McRae and Streichars did come into the pits. So your top 4 stay out. That's going to cycle the top 4 around to Karp, Rondoletto, Schwartz, Babinger, and then Turpin will be the first car that pitted from 5th. So let's try to catch a word with one of these top runners. I was going to get a word with Schwartz in 3rd, and Schwartz now comes down pit road, as does Babinger. Rondoletto and Karp are going to be the 2 cars that stay out, so Turpin will get up to 3rd. And let's try to catch a word with one of these guys who is out there right now. Brandon Varney, he's had a good run today. He's been running near the front of the field this whole way. Let's try to catch a quick word here with Brandon. We're going to try to tune into the helmet of Varney here as we tune in. And Brandon Varney, it's Petey and Paul up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, Brandon, a good run for you so far. That one car has been right up near the top 3 pretty much all evening long. Brandon, tell me, how is this car feeling so far this late into the run? We have about 100 laps to go. How are you feeling about your shots at getting up there and challenging for this win?
If we got a short run at the end of the race, I got a chance, but these guys got me beat on the long run, so it's all going to play out.
Tell me, Brandon, we've had a lot of long runs here, so obviously a lot of time for you to really learn what the car is going to do on the long run, really learn how the racing here is going to go. What do you think we're going to see here in the last 100 laps? Do you think we see more of the same green flag racing, or do you think we're going to start to see the gloves come off a little bit?
I think for now it's going to stay about the same, but if we get a caution like 30, 25 to go, we could see a whole different race.
10-4. And Paul, do you have anything that you like to add?
Brandon, I'm just curious. You were one of the first guys to come down pit road here under this caution. When went your decision to pit versus stay out? We had a mixed bag there. Some believers stayed out. You pitted. Why did you come down pit road knowing that there's still one more stop to make?
It's again, I'm going to take fuel. I never know how long those runs are going to last.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brandon. We'll let you get back with your team. That's Brandon Varney, driver of the number 1 car, as he's looking to restart in 5th. We'll see how this goes for him. So we put Brandon back with his team. We still have 2 laps before we get things back underway. Here's how they run. First place is William Karp. Second place, Octavio Rondoletto. 3rd, Luke Turpin. 4th is going to be Kendrick Crayer. 5th, Brandon Varney. 6th will be Kyle Streichar. 7th, Stephen Rex. 8th, John Schwartz. 9th will be Jordan Babinger. And 10th will be Pat Sullivan. 11th, the last car on the lead lap, is Tyler McRae, as we still have 28 cars out there on the racetrack out of the 31 that took the green flag. A very good percentage, Paul, and most impressive of all, in my opinion, as we're 2/3 of the way through this thing. We still have 27 of the 31 cars that took the green flag within 9 laps of each other, which that doesn't sound fantastic, but that honestly is pretty good.
Absolutely. Considering some of those cars are within 9 laps, have been on their roof, teetering on pit road, giving double-figured salutes, all that stuff. The figure fact that they're within 10 laps of the leader, that's so impressive.
Poor Derek, because all the things you just described happened to Derek Coulson.
Yeah, I was just literally just describing Derek Coulson's race. I don't know what happened to anybody else, but that's Derek Coulson's race in a nutshell.
Derek Coulson's one of those OG XCAL guys. He's from 2014. Derek has not had luck as of late. That car has had a hard time finishing those races, and anytime it seems like he's about to get a good run, it just seems like luck frowns down upon him, rather.
Yeah, no, he's Webster's definition of if it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. There's definitely a dark cloud hanging over him for some reason. We talked about Johnny B being a fan favorite. Derek Colson's another one of those guys that you just root for and want to see some good action. Something good happen to him because nothing good has happened to him in a race.
Talking about Johnny B a little bit too. Johnny B has recovered a little bit. He's still 6 laps down, but he's driven the car up to 25th from 27th. So top 20 really not out of the question for Johnny B in this one. We'll have to see where he ends up. And I'm sure for Johnny B, with how competitive this race has been and how great these drivers are, a top 20 would be a nice smile on his face today.
Absolutely, and as the gloves are going to come off here in the last 100 laps, if he keeps his nose clean, he'll be able to gain some positions through racing, but I think some of these guys will definitely not be crossing the finish line in one piece.
All right, here we come off turns 3 and 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang makes the hard left-hand turn. Green flag in the air. Carp gets on the go pedal, and he will take the advantage away from 77 to Rondoletto. It's going to be Turpin giving Carp a little bit of a bump in the corner. Let's see if Carp hangs on. He will. Carp is clear of the 77 to Rondoletto as they come down the backstretch. Carp gets a little loose. Rondoletto drives back to the high side now as they duel for the top spot. It's going to be Carp taking the lead away, though. Rondoletto will be sliding back in a second. Carp gets good off the corner, and now Carp's into the top spot. First time we've seen Luke Turpin in traffic in a little while. So here we go. Rondoletto dives that thing underneath the 08 of William Carp. I mean, an absolute power move there by the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. He drives it deep into corners 3 and 4. And it's Rondoletto taking the spot away as Carp gets really loose off the corner. Carp's going to lose a ton of ground, and now that lets Brandon Varney catch back up as they are 3 wide for 5th behind them. Hold your breath, folks. Everyone's going to hang on. Kyle Strychars is looking to get racy there. It looks like everyone's going to survive. Battle is on for 2nd, though. Varney looks to the inside of the 08 of Carp. Varney and Carp go side by side. And for Carp on that high side, Paul, if this race comes down to a short run, that 08 has really no shot. Carp needs a long run in this one. Absolutely, no. He's definitely does not have the short run material. As I'm looking at, Kyle Strychars is laying the business to 454 Turpin there. There's been an accident on the speedway. The 48 of Jordan Babinger hard into the inside wall. Looks like his teammate Steven Rex, the fellow dropping bombs car, got loose in front of him. They both got collected in the inside wall. Also spinning was Tyler Batchelder, and now Babinger has to bring the car down pit road with heavy motor damage. A tough end to a decent day for Jordan Babinger. Yeah, I was really liking to see how his strategy was, because I think he was just kind of biding his time towards the tail end of the lead lap. Serviceable run there, and still probably could have been a player at the end without that incident. Certainly could have. If we put our eyes back up to the front of the field, the battle for 2nd hasn't really calmed down at all. Carp runs right on the bumper of Varney. And Paul, it's just like inevitable. You know what's going to happen here. In about 5 laps, that 08's going to get fast. He's going to get around Varney, and he's going to catch right up to the 77. We'll probably have the whole field under a blanket. If I've learned one thing in this race, Paul, is that if this race comes down to a short run, I'm putting my money on Octavio Rondoletto. If it comes down to a medium run, my money's on William Carp. If it comes down to like we're going green the rest of the way, my money's probably on Luke Turpin or Kendrick Prayer. I like that bet. I'll take Prayer right now because he's ahead of Turpin, but definitely one of those two guys. If we go green the whole way, though, it's definitely going to be the 66 and 454. But yeah, look at Rondoletto. Just check out. He's got, over a 2nd lead already? This quick into the run. He has had probably the best short run speed all night. I've noticed he's really pulled away from the field on these short runs here. It's just once we get a few laps in, it seems like his car gets a little tight and everyone's able to catch right back up to him. And that's actually starting to happen as Varney closes in a little bit. Caution is out, 4th caution of the night. There's been a wreck on the speedway. We will see what happened on the front stretch. Alex Gangler hard into the inside wall, so that is what brought out the caution here. As there was actually a wreck in front of Gangler. It was the 20 of Jose Godino that this all started with. So we will see what happened to Godino there in just one moment, my friend. The replay is up, and coming off the corner, it looks like Jeremy Leto and Jose Godino are racing side by side. The 24 just washed right up the racetrack into the 20 of Godino, sending Godino around. And then in the aftermath, Tyler McRae looks like he got a little bit in Alex Gangler. He sent Gangler hard into the inside wall. Gangler got a lot of nose damage on that one. He got the car back rolling. Gangler currently running in 23rd right now. And that was what brought out the caution here. So we're going to try to catch a quick word with Alex Gangler and see what happened there. So we are going to pull him up. And Alex Gangler, it's Petey and Paul up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it, Petey.
Gangler, unfortunately there, it looks like he got involved in the aftermath of the initial caution. Tell me, what was the issue there, Gangler, from your perspective?
Well, Jeremy Leto came up and hit the other car, the 20 car, and spun them both out. The 03 started checking up, and I got into the back of the 03 just a little bit there, and I kind of got spun out by the car bully behind me, and then that's pretty much when the yell came out.
All right, well, Gangler, looks like you don't have too much damage. You should be able to get that car fixed. Tell me, do you think you could probably still get up there and challenge for a top 15 in this thing, or maybe a top 20?
This is the way it always goes. I generally start off pretty slow, and then I eventually make back up a lot of time, so we can see how this goes. I think the chances for top 20 are pretty good. I don't know about top 15 quite yet. Still a lot of time.
So you just moved up to 22nd. When you're mired back 5 laps down, what goes through your mind at this point with 100 laps, knowing that obviously top 15 is probably not realistic? What are you thinking about? What are you going? What's your goals? What's your motivation to finish these last 100 laps?
Well, as my previous teammate Tim said, it's not over till it's over. Just keep racing your race, and hopefully the race comes your way. If it doesn't, well, that's how the race went.
Great attitude. Wish my students had that same attitude.
All right, well, thank you for the quick word, Gangler. Best of luck to you moving forward, my friend.
Thank you, Petey.
All right, that's Alex Gangler.
So it looks like, Petey, only 2 cars stayed out, Carp and Crayer. Everybody else hit it.
I like the call there to stay out, to be honest with you, Paul. They're still about 10 laps away from the fuel window, and it's close. Honestly, if we get another caution, the cars that pitted could probably make it, but the way this race has gone, that's not a guarantee, and I do understand why those 2 stayed out.
You know who I'm looking at, though? We saw Darren Snyder run close to 80 laps, and Kleinis there. If they can come down, top off, maybe get an extension of this caution. Those guys at the back there, if they can save fuel, granted, we probably won't run caution-free, but if we do, those guys could be in the catbird seat.
Yeah, Cody Jones, Darren Snyder, and Clarence LaBeouf, the 3 cars getting the wave around. That gives us 13 guys back on the lead lap here. Still, we have 28 of our cars running on the racetrack right now. As Kenny Tripp just picked up another position over Greg Holes as he's sticking out there and trying to pick up as many spots as he can. The 48 of Jordan Babinger, he is down there on pit road. Also, update, Paul, there is another car out of the race. The 24 of Jeremy Leto has been disqualified for causing 2 cautions. Due to XCAL rules, if you cause multiple cautions in an event, that leads to a disqualification. The 24 has been parked for this one.
I believe this is not his first time either, so he might be facing some additional sanctions later on in the XCAL.
Well, we will have to see. That's tough, though. He's caused 50% of the cautions in this one. That's not really a big shot at him either. There's just only been 4 cautions. Here we come off turn 4. The pace car pulls off. Carp has the field in tow. He gets going. Green flag in the air. A nice start there from Carp. He really did get a good jump there on the inside of Crayer. So Carp will now drive into the top spot. Crayer, though, drives that car around the high side. Let's see if he makes it stick. He does. Crayer drives that car up the high side of the racetrack. Carp with the preferred line in the 3 and 4 way down low. Crayer with a nice arc in the corner, though. He's going to get a good run off. Kendrick Crayer on the high side of the track. Paul, he might be thinking, I need to get going before Luke Turpin gets back up here. The 66 drives around the high side now. The 08 keeps that car pinned down low and down the backstretch. Crayer pulls the advantage coming into 3 and 4. One more good corner, and Crayer probably has it as they get into 3 and 4. Crayer gets loose. Carp drives that car hard off the corner. Carp gets the nose ahead as they come to the flag stand. It's about a dead heat. That time by, it was Kendrick Crayer by 1/1000th of a second. Crayer had it at the flag stand. And as Crayer gets loose on the high side, he's about to clear the 08 of Carp, but he keeps getting loose. Here comes Carp back to the low side. Carp drives that car deep into the corner, and Carp now almost clears the 66. He really has to check up, though, not to get into him. That time by the flag stand, it was Carp by 1/1000th of a second, Paul, so they're just exchanging laps here.
This is a great race. This is also going to pay off here for Octavio Rondoletto as these guys race side by side. Use up their tires. Mr. Short Run Rondoletto here, expect him to stick his nose in this fight very quickly if they keep staying side by side.
Yeah, and Carp is just almost able to clear him off of 4, but he's not able to completely complete the deal. So as they go side by side in a 1 and 2, here comes Carp again with a great run off the corner. Let's see if he can get around Crayer this time. They're quickly approaching the lap car, the 7 of Jeff Edgar, and clear for the lead is the 08 of Carp. Here comes Crayer with the crossover maybe. Crayer, no room to make it. He's going to look to the low. No, he won't. He's going to keep that car right behind the 08 of Carp. So they run nose to tail. Luke Turpin's back in 8th. I don't know what the issue is for Turpin, Paul. That car is not moving forward, though. It's just stagnant right now. So I think maybe as we get more and more late into the North Carolina night here, as we're getting closer to darkness, I think the 454 is starting to lose some of its speed.
Or, as you said, Turpin being the late run guy, he just pitted as well. He could be on a one-stop or a no-stop strategy trying to save his tires there as these guys battle side by side, use up their stuff, and not have enough stuff for the finish.
Paul, to be honest with you, I think he'd only need to save about 4 or 3 laps. Like, I think that's how close it was. So I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's a great point, Paul. If Turpin might be just saving his stuff, and if he can save 3 to 4 laps of gas and this goes green to the end, I mean, that is something that 100% would come right out of the book of Luke Turpin.
Absolutely, you expect the old KG veteran to be able to figure that out. I mean, he's been looking at his lap times, his fuel run. He knows what he's got. He knows tires, and maybe he's banking on this race to go green.
These top two have no shot at making it, though, so they're just battling right now for the top spot. Carp continues to lead over Crayer. Crayer not letting him get too far away from him. Rondoletto's in third. Fourth is John Schwartz. Fifth is Brandon Varney. And sixth is Tyler McRae. Seventh is Kyle Streichars. As these guys all doing a good job right now, just driving their cars around the racetrack. Still these 13 guys on the lead lap. This has been a fun one so far. 231 laps in the book, just under 70 laps to go as this race has clicked by so quickly. Up front, though, that battle for the lead still rages on as, Rondoletto has to make an evasive move to get around the lap car of Kenny Tripp. He does do it, however, successfully. And Paul, here late in the going, there's one driver, and I know I own his car, so I'm naturally going to want to talk about him, but that 01 of John Schwartz, man, it just seems like every week you see him stay on the lead lap, running borderline top 10, and unlike the last quarter of the race comes around, and suddenly that 01's running near the top 3. He just has a really good nose for keeping his car in one piece, and he knows when it's go time, and that's why, in my opinion, the 01 of John Schwartz is really one of the best drivers in this league. He just knows how to manage his stuff.
And that's why he hired him. He must like buffalo wings. No, but yeah, no, he's kind of like the Kevin Harvick, right? Kind of the Mr. Where did he come from? He's always quiet, doesn't really make a lot of noise, anything like that. But yeah, when it's kind of go time, he's always there, top 5, maybe 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. But he's there, and he's always a player.
He is, and right now he's trying to make a play on third place, Octavio Rondoletto. Honestly, Paul, those are the first 2 cars that came down pit road, so if this thing were to go green, it doesn't look like either of them are saving right now. Depending on how things go, this could be inevitably the battle for the win eventually between Rondoletto and John Schwartz. We have a long way to go between now and the finish to say that much, but nonetheless, this is an important battle for position between these two.
Absolutely, and they're probably racing that way. That's why probably Octavio hasn't, gone all out like he has in the previous runs. He might be saying the same thing. If I, hold back a little bit, one of 2 things could happen. Either these 2 guys, run themselves out of fuel, or because they're racing so tight side by side, maybe they spin each other in the wall. Either way, he's in the catbird seat in 3rd place, just ready there to collect.
Up front, the battle for the lead has not calmed down. Kendrick Crayer still all over William Carp. Carp in that 1st and 15 machine here in the 1st and 15 300, trying to bring home the win for the race's sponsor. However, the 66 of Crayer not making life easy on him. We had a spin on the front stretch. Jose Gaudino's gone around. He collected that car and kept it going. No caution will fly. Crayer runs right in the tire tracks of the 08 of Carp, though. And Crayer would love to find a way around Carp. And one thing we could see with these guys, too, when they come down pit road, if this does end up being green flag pit stops for those guys, probably just a splash and go. So a top 10 not out of the question. They really need to run as hard as they can right now, try to put down the best laps they can right now, and try to get as much distance between them and everyone else. So when they come down pit road and take that splash, they don't lose a ton of spots. We'll just have to see, though. The battle for third hasn't really calmed down either. Schwartz still running right in the tire tracks of Rondoletto. And we talked about Schwartz being the smart, strategic guy he is. Still about 60 laps to go. For Schwartz, I still doubt we're seeing 100% out of him yet. I think Schwartz might be saving a little bit here. And maybe, if anything else, the 01 of Schwartz might be trying to push the 77 to drive a little harder than he wants to right now.
Absolutely. I think that's really his only strategy, right, is he needs to make Octavio protect his spot and not lay back, because he could lay everybody back, Octavio, and let these 2 guys just run it out. But yeah, as you mentioned, not like that super truck race from earlier where Octavio was in the pit halfway. You can't really break this segment into 2 segments and expect to make it all the way to the end and catch up, because that and the 31 there, I think, just spun around there. Josh Rogers.
Yeah, Josh Rogers did go around. He collected it. No caution will fly. He didn't even hit anything. So a tough break there for Rogers, who runs in 15th, 3 laps down, but he's going to keep that car collected. as it looks like we might have had another car with issues. Jeff Edgar's on pit road. That car looks like it might be out of the running, so now we just have 27 cars on the racetrack. Edgar's pulled that machine in. Up front, though, Carp continues to lead. Update on change for position 2. Luke Turpin's starting to get racy, Paul, as he is running the fastest times on the racetrack. He's gotten around Kyle Strychars for 7th. We have a wreck down the backstretch. Octavio Rondoletto's gone around. He collects that machine. He keeps it going, and caution will fly. Schwartz is also wrecked. I don't know what happened there. Something happened. I apologize if you heard what just came through my microphone there. I think one of the fans was upset there, but we got things going. As of the 77 of Rondoletto got involved in a caution there, and we'll have to see what happened as the replay will be up in a moment. But the 77 and 01, third and fourth place, Octavio Rondoletto and John Schwartz collected in some sort of an accident. Unfortunate break there, as that does change the complexion of the race, as we're waiting to see what happened. Here's the replay. It looks like, okay, Octavio Rondoletto came up on the lap car of Kenny Tripp. He drove to the inside of him, and just Tripp did not give him room. He spun out. And then after the fact, Tripp drove down into the 01 of John Schwartz. And Kenny Tripp, it just looks like he had a personal vendetta there, Paul, against the top 5 for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, I can understand the... and he did collect. I'm watching some of that replay there. It looked like Kenny Tripp, after he made contact with the 77, kind of bounced off the wall, so he might have broke something, and that's why I ended up going in the 01. I don't think he had a personal vendetta against the 01. I think his car... Remember, they put that car back together, so they probably didn't put it back together as well as it was when it came out of the shop. So probably that contact with the wall did something there. But yeah, I'm sure you might see Rondoletto and Tripp at least have their crew chiefs having some words there in the infield after this race.
So, Kenny Tripp was disqualified. That was the second caution of the race he caused. Octavio Rondoletto was given a black flag. Maybe Rondoletto retaliated afterwards. I didn't see it. I did not see it, so I don't know what happened. But for some reason, Rondoletto was given a black flag. So Rondoletto black flag. It's going to be Tripp got disqualified. We're going to try to catch a word here maybe with John Schwartz. What this does, though, it allowed William Karp and Kendrick Crater to come down pit road, so they got fuel. They're good to go to the end now. As when things cycle through, it looks like Luke Turpin will be in the lead, as he's the one car that stayed out. And whenever John Schwartz gets off pit road, it looks like he is. I want to catch a quick word with him since he was involved in that yellow. And we're going to try to catch a word here with John Schwartz, as here we go. John Schwartz, it's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
Well, John, you were running up there in the top 5, and unfortunately, looks like you got involved in a little bit of an accident there. Tell me what happened from the cockpit of the 01.
Yeah, so I was really focusing on strategy at this point. I realized that we have about 80 to go, and we still have another pit stop, and I was hoping you would go green to the end, and I thought that I was pretty good on my green flag pit stops, and I was hoping I might be able to battle for the win there at the end. But unfortunately, Kenny, he just seemed to be pretty slow. We were lapping him like every lap or so, it seemed, and so... he did seem okay, though. I mean, he was slow, but he seemed to be being able to control his line pretty well. And so I saw Octavio trying to do a crossover on him, and it seemed that Kenny just came down off of 2 and spun him, and I tried to get out of the way, and unfortunately Kenny was still damaged, apparently, and I got involved. But I don't exactly know what happened there, but at least we didn't seem to get too much damage from it, and I think we're still in the chance for the win here.
I was going to say, you're up in 4th now, and as this race goes, looks like you should be good on fuel to go to the end. So tell me, John, as you're going to be restarting 4th, how do you like your chances in this one? It looks like you kind of were saving your stuff there early on, starting to flex some muscle here at the end. Well, there's 50 to go. It's time to start flexing. Do you think you have a chance for some of these quicker guys?
I feel we have a top 5 car. I don't know if we're going to get the win here. I feel like there are some really strong guys up here, but if we manage a top 5, I think that'll be a big success.
All right. Well, Paul, do you have anything to ask John?
Yeah, I was just going to ask what your strategy is. Do you just go for it now, or do you just kind of lay back just a little bit and stay in that 4th position, let these guys try to run their car out? Because you still got 50 laps to go. Tires start falling off about 40 laps or so. You're still going to try to keep yourself fresh to make that run in the last 10 laps, or you're just going to try to make your run now?
I think you do have to wait a bit longer, because you never know if there's going to be another caution, and you don't want to have your tires burn out if you do have to restart another time. And also, 50 laps is a long time. Your right front definitely starts to get pretty worn out, so I'd say just wait to the end to go for the move.
All right, well, thank you, John, for talking to me, and Paul, best of luck. Hopefully we talk to you after the race, buddy.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, that's John Schwartz, driver of the 01, and this time they do get the white flag. One more lap till we go back green flag racing. We're going to get restarted with exactly 50 laps to go. First 250 laps, only 5 cautions. Let's see if we have any more in this one. As of the last 50 laps, though, I think the gloves are off now. Well, I think it's time for these guys to let them start going a little bit as we go through 3 and 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang is going to make that.
Especially if you're Octavio Rondoletto. Watch him.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. Luke Turpin goes as Dale Jr. lets him go. Turpin drives that car out in front, and now Kendrick Crayer's mired back to second. Crayer peeks to the outside, but there's just nothing there. So it'll be Turpin taking the lead away. Second's going to be Crayer. Third's Varney. Fourth will now be John Schwartz. Up in fifth position is Steven Rex. Keep an eye on that 08 of William Karp. He has a long way to go and a short time to get there. I saw a little tire smoke from the front. Did not see anything too exciting, though. Looks like everyone held on. As here we go, the battle for second, third, and fourth looks like it's about to start heating up. Now here's where I'm really curious, Paul. I think now is where we're going to get a good idea. As Octavio Rondoletto's been black flagged again, Paul. So just as you say, watch out for him. Apparently he got a little too excited on the restart, jumped the start. He's been black flagged for a second time.
Exactly. I said I knew it was go time for him, and unfortunately it was just a little too quick go time. But he had to make an aggressive move to have any shot at this. And unfortunately, just a little bit too aggressive.
A good day gone sour for the Rondoletto team, but to be honest with you, Paul, I think that his luck might have ran out a little bit because he was winning races left and right, it seemed like, just about every week. And then last week at Texas, he wrecked while leading late, and then this week in North Wilkesboro, his luck has kind of ran dry. So lady luck can be your best friend, and sometimes it can be the biggest pain in your butt, and it looks like for the last couple of weeks, bad luck strikes again.
Well, yeah, if you look at I think he used his luck in the Super Truck race, right? He was running third, and the top two guys took himself out to give him the win. So maybe he used all his luck up earlier today.
That is a possibility. Not using their luck out is Luke Turpin. He's opened up an 8/10 of a second lead over Kendrick Crayer here. Crayer is not really having much for him. As we look through this field, looking at the battles on the track, William Karp in 7th. He's on fresh tires. Here's the big story, I think, Paul. William Karp in that 08, this is a 50-lap run. That's the perfect run for that car. If this thing goes green to the end, Karp's tires will start to get good as this run goes on. And with about 20 to go, we're going to really start to see him clicking down some fast times. I think even though he's 3.5 seconds behind Turpin, yesterday in his heat race, we saw him win after being 2.5 seconds behind Joel Blewett with 15 laps to go. He just tracked him down and passed him. Karp, depending on how he gets around the rest of these guys, he makes his way through the field. He is not out of the running no matter how far back he is right now.
Absolutely, and he's got the advantage that, some of these guys, Turpin's going to be the first one to catch up to lap traffic, right? It's always tough for the leader to catch lap traffic is, the thing. But once, guys start getting lapped, they start moving over for everybody else. So that's going to hold him up a little bit in a few laps. So you're right. I think Karp, if he can make his way through, he's got a chance.
We will have to see. As looking back up through the field, it's actually Kendrick Crayer starting to track down Luke Turpin. The Crayer number 66 has been the fastest car on the racetrack the last few laps, and he is really starting to make some headway on Luke Turpin. He has it down to half a second. That 66, he is not saving his tires. He is not saving fuel. He has his foot to the floor, and that 66 trying to make his way up front. Once again, fastest car on the racetrack, Kendrick Crayer. And Crayer ran last week at Texas, was unfortunately involved in the first lap caution that took him out. We hadn't seen him run in a few weeks, but he's back again, and he is trying to make it a career day here as he continues to track down Luke Turpin. A wreck in front of Luke Turpin, I think I saw tire smoke. Slow car on the racetrack is Octavio Rondoletto, as things just keep going from bad to worse for Octavio Rondoletto, man.
That's a third strike that's happened there, so... it's one of those things that I know he's running for points, but, he may want to, try to beat this traffic out of here as, North Wilkesboro, the house is still packed, so he may want to beat that traffic.
He might. We're going to have a hard time getting out of here after this one. The fans are glued to their seats right now. They're not going anywhere yet. Here we go. Battle's heating up for 6th. William Karp is caught up to Steven Rex. He needs to make quick work of these guys. He doesn't have time to fool around. He dives to the inside of Steven Rex. That 08 of Karp gets to the inside, and he does make quick work of Rex. Move the 08 of Karp now up into the 6th spot. He's not quite clear, but he should get him in 1 and 2, and he does. He'll now set his sights on 5th place Kyle Streichars as the battle for the lead gets closer. But before we lose track of everything, what a good run for Kyle Streichars right now, running in 5th with about 37 laps to go.
Absolutely, qualified 27th up to 5th. That's definitely the big move of the race. He's been there. He's been really quiet. We haven't seen him in the lead. Haven't seen him battle for the lead, but he's just been solidly there. Moved up really early into the top 10 and just kind of picking his way off one by one. Top 5. You never know what could happen here. You got a tangle up in the front. He could be a player for a podium.
Change for third, John Schwartz just got around Brandon Varney, so move Schwartz up another position. Schwartz has picked up one more spot. He'll start to track down Turpin and Crayer. And it's worth noting here, we haven't seen Schwartz push the issue all day, Paul, but Schwartz is on that same setup as William Karp, who's been good on those long runs. You have to wonder, does Schwartz maybe have an outsider shot at really catching these top two? I know he's a little bit back, but he has that medium run setup as there was a spin, it looks like. No caution will be thrown.
Yeah, it was Arthur Hinder in there that was going backwards down the front straightaway. We got the 66 looking for a lead, but no, Schwartz, as he talked to us under caution, said, he's still kind of nursing his car a little bit, wasn't going to go all out. To the end, he's only 3 seconds back. Again, these two guys, just like I said earlier, if these two guys tangle, tussle, whatever, have a problem, he's right there. Fresh tires, he can make it happen.
All right, we have had a change for position. William Karp just took 5th place away from Kyle Stridechars. I noted that Karp was going to be on a mission. That car has been the fastest car on the racetrack by 2/10 the last 3 laps. He is absolutely cooking. The matter is, it's 4 seconds he has to make up in about 33 laps. Can he do that? He's on pace to do it, but we'll have to see. Up front, the battle for the lead is as tight as ever as Kendrick Crayer runs right on the bumper of Luke Turpin. They go around the lap car of Jordan Babinger. And Crayer right now might just be biding his time, waiting to find a chance to go around. John Schwartz has cleared the number 1 of Brandon Varney for 3rd, so Schwartz has moved up into the podium position. Quickly catching them is William Karp, as Karp is continuously the fastest car on the racetrack, and his chance at winning this race comes down to how quick he can get by Varney and Schwartz. If he can get by those two quickly, he has a shot to win this race. If he cannot, it's probably all but over for him, barring a late caution. Considering, though, up front, they are racing pretty hard for the lead. Anything's possible. Crayer and Turpin could still make contact as Crayer gives Turpin a bump. Turpin gets loose off the corner, and I think, Kendrick Crayer just gripped the steering wheel a little extra harder. I think his crew chief said 30 to go. I think the driver in the 66 has decided, you know what, it's go time. I've waited all day long to race hard. This is time.
I think that was more of a message to Turpin to let him know he's there as he's moving to the inside. It can be tough, though.
Tight off of turn 2. Turpin pinches him way down the racetrack. He is going to hang on for the time being. William Karp has moved up to 4th. He's now behind his teammate John Schwartz, as Karp is the fastest car on the speedway. Let's see if Schwartz maybe just lets his teammate go, or is Schwartz going to race him for it, or maybe Karp will just follow Schwartz to the front left. To see those two cars were a little bit faster than the top two that time by, as the top two are all over each other. They catch the lap car of Tyler Jalbert. Jalbert's not going to get out of the way. He actually makes a mistake in front of them. That holds up the leaders a little bit. Now Jalbert down the front stretch going to go to the inside. He's not just getting out of the way, though, of our leader, Luke Turpin. Turpin is going to have to race with the 04. The 04 not giving way. Oh, that is tight off the corner. That is allowing 3rd and 4th to make up a little bit of ground. And now the 454 will get around Jalbert in the 04, and Kendrick Crayer, he just has fingers crossed that the 04 gets out of the way as Turpin gets tight off the corner. A tough break there for Turpin. Turpin sticks the middle finger out the window. He is not happy with Tyler Jalbert at all, as Jalbert slides up the racetrack a little bit into the 66. But Jalbert, Paul, you'd hope they would just get out of the way, but Jalbert is a race car driver, has every right to do what he's doing right now.
I know, 4 laps down, he's definitely affecting the show here. 66 got pinned behind him. That's his right, but if I'm a driver, obviously you know me, I would have moved well out of the way. 4 laps down, he's not a player in this, and he's put himself in a player role. I'm a little disappointed in him right now.
Last week's winner maybe just feeling a little too frisky here. William Karp has moved up to 3rd, and he is continuously the fastest car on the racetrack. This time by, he made up another 2/10 on our leaders. It's down to 3.4 seconds. That Karp car is absolutely cruising right now, as Kendrick Crayer has got trapped behind Tyler Jalbert and Jose Gaudino. And that has really kind of messed up the battle for the win, like you said, Paul, is Jalbert has really hurt the 66 of Kendrick Crayer. And Crayer, he's going to need to get around the 04 quick. He gives the 04 a bump. Jalbert continues to block him, though. I don't think there was previous issues between Jalbert and the Crayer machine, but Jalbert is just making life miserable right now for Kendrick Crayer.
I would not be surprised if the 04 gets the good old chrome horn, as Paul Tracy likes to say here, very shortly, because the 66's patience is wearing thin.
And it's just the 04 can handle it, though. And at this point, it's really, I'd Crayer's going to have to get by him now, or his chance to win this might be over. Jalbert, being a lap car, has just been in the way, and he is letting Luke Turpin absolutely cruise away. Luke Turpin pulls away another 2/10 that lap. It is very bad news right now for the 66, as he just cannot get around the 04 of Jalbert. Jalbert gets loose off the corner. The 66 finally gets to the outside. It might be a little too late, though, as Jalbert now is going to drive it deep into the corner, and the 66 of Crayer still can't get around him. And I'll tell you what, I see the spotter of the 66 looking really dirty at the 04 right now, and the 66 just put the middle finger out the window. He is not happy whatsoever with Tyler Jalbert. 20 laps to go, and just a few laps ago, the 66 was racing for the win. Now he's a second and a half behind Luke Turpin. Here we go. Crayer moves him up the racetrack. Crayer gives him a shove. Crayer off the corner finally gets underneath the 04. They both go around the lap car of Derek Colson, who's numerous laps down. Crayer to the inside of Jalbert. He's going to give him the door up the racetrack. Jalbert forced out of the groove, and Crayer's going to hang on to second. And now he just has a lot of ground to make up, and it's going to be about 2-second advantage for Luke Turpin. If we don't get a caution, that really might have cost Crayer a shot at this race.
I was going to say, if that's the case, Turpin definitely owes the 04 a state dinner. That really gifted him a chance here, as 04 is going to try to get aggressive and try to make a pass back.
I don't think he has the speed. The 66 is definitely quicker, though. Although 66 makes a mistake, that's going to allow the 04 to get back to his inside. Not what Crayer needs here. And
look at that. Wow.
He shoves him up the track, and now Crayer gets moved out of the groove. Rondoletto will go to the inside of Crayer now. And I think for Crayer at this point, I think he is just so upset, like he's red in the face. I think he's not driving good right now at all. You're seeing him making mistakes. I think the frustration is set in for Kendrick Crayer, and he is just so PO'd right now that he can't drive good.
That Brewster's ice cream is melted. But yeah, they talk about that in poker, that somebody's on tilt, and I think right now Crayer is certainly on tilt, full tilt.
And what makes this most confusing for me, Paul, is just the 66 and 04. I can't recall them ever having any sort of issue with each other. And it's one thing to race for the position, but I mean, the 04 was throwing blocks, he was rubbing fenders with them. I don't quite understand that, Paul.
Yeah, maybe Crayer cut in front of him at the barbecue earlier today that we had for the XCAL drivers. I don't know. Maybe he took the last of the ribs, last buffalo wing, something. But something happened there that we need to get to the bottom of it post-race to find out why this animosity, because this has really affected the outcome of the races. William Carp is now on the back end of the 66.
And this is Luke Turpin's race to lose. If we don't get a caution and something dramatic doesn't happen to Luke Turpin is gone. He is about 3.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, as Tyler Jalbert has just completely changed the complexion of this race, as he has raced so hard with the second place car of Kendrick Crayer. Last week's winner, Tyler Jalbert, racing again here hard at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And, you know, he was fast again this week, Paul. The Jalbert car might have had a shot at the win in this race. Here we go. Carp goes to the inside of Crayer for second. Carp trying to pick up one more spot as we get down to the closing laps of this one. However, the 04 of Jalbert was involved in an incident that really took him out of the running. And just an unfortunate break there for him, but maybe taking his frustration out on the wrong culprit there. As here we go, William Carp gets off the corner good. Carp has the nose ahead of the 66 Crayer. It's Luke Turpin 4 seconds ahead of these guys now. He is absolutely checked out. As here we go, the 08 drives the car off the corner. He gets a good run. This is a battle for position. That 08 car will not quite clear Crayer. Crayer's going to hang on the outside, but Crayer gets tight, and it looks like the 08 will clear the 66. And at this point, Paul, this time by 11 laps to go, I think Crayer has just used up the tires in that race car. I don't think he has anything left to fight with.
Absolutely not. Crayer's got nothing left. At this point, Crayer should just back off and hope that Jalbert gives the business to the 08, although Crayer is fighting back. But I think his best bet right now with the way his car is shot is just hope and pray somehow that the 08 makes a mistake trying to get by the 04 and the yellow comes out and get a chance to come back in.
There's 10 laps to go. They duel for second. Carp's going to take the spot away from Crayer. So Carp does finally clear the 66. He's taking the position away. And now the 04 of Jalbert gets way high out of the way for William Carp. Although this time by, that might have been a mistake. He is still going to be in front of the 08 of William Carp. Here comes Crayer back right up to the bumper of the 08. Let's see if the 08 can get around the 04. The 04 goes up the racetrack. The 08 gets to his inside. And Jalbert doesn't even pinch him. He just gets up and out of the way as the 08 will clear him off the corner. And Paul, at this point, I'm starting to think it might be something a little personal between the 66 and the 04, because that was way different than he raced the 66. As the 66 gives him the door, he moves him up the racetrack. Kendrick Crayer is not happy with Tyler Jalbert here. I mean, that's to be expected. And he shoves him up the racetrack one more time as Jalbert, let's see if maybe he gets a little retaliation. He won't even have a chance. Crayer's going to pull on him now as this one is coming down to the conclusion. Don't forget, when we get within 5 laps to go, there will be no more cautions in this race. And we are at 7 to go right now, so this one's winding down to the end. Finally, second and third get around the lap car of Tyler Jalbert, but it is just far too late for both of these guys.
Absolutely, and you really got to feel for Crayer there. He was looking like an opportunity to get his first XCAL win. Really had an opportunity to give the business to Luke Turpin, really show his muscle, and just taken away from him something that's no fault of his own. Just heartbreaking.
It's certainly heartbreaking, but you know what? We do get 5 to go. There will be no more cautions. And Paul, I can say this from my own XCAL career. Losing so many close ones like this, racing with the best, running up in the front and just coming up a little bit short, it does make that day when you finally park the car in victory lane that much sweeter, and that's really all that Kendrick Crayer can take from this.
Absolutely. No, when he finally does get himself there to taste the champagne or beer or whatever beverage of his choice in victory lane, it's going to be great. We all look forward to that Brewster's ice cream party because the sponsor's one of the best in the business.
And I think that if nothing else today, Paul, he has proved to us that kid is a contender. The 66 of Crayer's shown he can run with the best like Luke Turpin as they go around Johnny B. He's still on our thoughts today. But Kendrick Crayer, he's proved something today, if nothing else.
Absolutely, and definitely gets my, if we were doing the F1 driver of the day thing there, he's definitely my driver of the day.
Well, here we come off of turn 4 for Luke Turpin. Turpin is going to take the popsicle sticks from Dal Jr. 2 more laps to go in the first and 15 300. Be sure to go to XCALRacing.com, check out the web shop, and get all your first and 15 merch. They come down the backstretch. The 454 of Luke Turpin drives the car into turns 3 and 4. This time by, Dal Jr. leans out of the flag stand. He waves the white flag in the air, and Luke Turpin in a very familiar position. He won 2 weeks ago at USA after going on a little bit of a drought, but Luke Turpin, as he drives that car through 1 and 2, he has one more lap car to negotiate. Alex Gangler looks like he might just get out of the way, and Turpin's just going to let him keep his lap. Turpin drives that car up in 3 and 4, and checkered flag in the air. Turpin wins 2 out of the last 3 races, and the 454 is back in business, folks. Turpin picks up the victory here in the first and 15 300. Second is going to be William Karp. The second, or 2 of the last 3 weeks that William Karp has finished second. Third is going to be Kendrick Crayer. Fourth will be Brandon Barney with a nice run today. Fifth will be Steven Rex, a good run for the Rex team. Sixth ended up being John Schwartz. Kyle Streichars with a good day finishes 7th. 8th is going to be Tyler McRae. 9th, Quintus LaBeouf. And a good run for the 13 of Darren Snyder being the final car in the top 10. At the end of that one, we still had 26 of our 31 starters running at the finish.
Yeah, very impressive run again by a couple of these guys. Again, Turpin showed that he's across the field. Again, like I said, really sad that we didn't get to see a chance that he was going to be able to hold off Crayer or not. But Turpin, when it comes to these short tracks, KG veteran, one of the best in the business.
Well, one thing I can say, Paul, is if nothing else, today showed us he's not invincible. This was not one of the races where Luke Turpin just dominated the field and no one had anything for him. He was challenged from many different cars today. And for Luke Turpin, an impressive run. And we are actually going to catch word now with Kendrick Crayer as we are going to pull him down here as we are standing by him down on pit road. And Kendrick Crayer, we're down here on pit road with you. A great run for you today, a 3rd place finish, your best career XCAL run. However, you have to be feeling a little bit sour about that one as you were so close to maybe parking that car in victory lane. Tell us what happened there in the late laps.
It was a lap car that was just blocking both of us leaders, and the first place guy got around him. So, I was trying my hardest to get around him. He was kind of getting me pretty mad. Wasn't letting me by at all, so I just put the bumper to him, getting out of the way. Then he got me back, and then it just went off from there, and then allowed the 3rd place guy to catch me. So not too bad. I guess it was tight at the end too.
Well, Kendrick, I know you have to be disappointed. You certainly had a chance to win there. But tell me, how does it feel in a good way to know that you were racing up there with the likes of Luke Turpin and Octavio Rondoletto, some of the best guys in this league, some of the best on iRacing? You were up there challenging for that win. Tell me how it feels to just know you can race with guys like that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun racing against these guys. I'll be back next week for sure. But these guys are really, really tough racers. They don't give you any space. They are tough to race against, but I like that. Just makes me a better driver.
All right. Well, Kendrick, before I let you go,
we got one important question. Brewster's ice cream, best ice cream on the planet, no sponsor. What's your favorite Brewster's ice cream flavor?
Mine?
Absolutely.
I've never had Brewster's ice cream.
Oh my God, you are missing out. You know what? When you get your first XCAL victory, we will ship you some Brewster's ice cream frozen. They actually do that. Thank you so much. You showed a great thing. Thank you for being professional. You could easily came in here and trash the 04. Did you have anything previous with him, or was this a brand new kind of rivalry that's built out of this?
With the lap car or Luke?
Yeah, the lap car, the 04 there that kept holding you up. Did you have any previous run-ins with him, or is this like a new thing?
I don't know. I've never really raced against him much. I mean, that's the first time me and him really just kind of are getting mad at each other. I don't know.
Well, we definitely respect your professionalism. You're definitely a better man than I would be. I would be on here yelling, kicking, screaming, swearing, doing all the things that would make a teacher look bad. So, props to you.
Before we let you go, Kendrick, too, who do you want to thank for sponsors, crew, and team on the 66 car?
I want to thank Southern Aprons, Beals Johnson Racing, Superstar Motorsports, Mom and Dad. That's about it for sponsors.
All right, well, thank you, Kendrick. Congratulations on a career day. We're now down with Paul Coleman, who's a few pit stalls down. I think, Paul, you've caught up with second-place finisher William Karp.
Hello.
Hey, William. Talk to us about that race there. You seem to have a great car when it came to the long-distance runs there. What was your strategy there with the last 50 laps?
Yeah, I was pretty well set up for the longer runs. New strategy was going to play big into it, when the cautions come out, and fuel strategy, making sure you have enough fuel and where your tires are in the tire cycle. So, but yeah, I'm real happy with second place. Congrats to Luke, another great win. Working on it. We'll get up there one of these days.
Absolutely, no. It was definitely a great run. Like I said, you really showed you were the class of field when it came to those long runs. You showed that you were able to maintain your tires there. I think maybe 50 laps might have been just a little too short. You think you would have had something there if it maybe a 70 lap run or so?
Yeah, if we had a few extra laps there at the end, I might have had a chance. But you can only get so much time, and didn't quite time it right there.
Absolutely. Well, any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to give thanks to? Anything you want to?
Yeah. Give thanks to the XCAL and the XCAL crew that puts this on. It's an awesome deal. Love racing it, and appreciate you guys giving us a chance to do this.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming out and giving the fans a great show there. Awesome second place.
All right, and we're getting ready to go down to victory lane, Paul. Well, there's actually a fight on the pits right now. Octavio Rondoletto chased down Kenny Tripp after the race. He has him pinned up against the race car right now. He is all up in his face, Paul, and tempers are overheating. And Paul, I guess you kind of expect this at a short track, is Rondoletto and, oh my goodness, all the crews are around both those cars right now, and that's just kind of what you expect at a track like this.
Absolutely. Well, I told you the true crew chiefs were yelling at each other earlier when Rondoletto, because, I mean, that really... Kenny Tripp's move there really affected Rondoletto. Rondoletto was probably going to be in the podium and probably one of our interviewees until that happened. So, yeah, Rondoletto definitely has every right to give him a poke in the eye or whatever else he'd like to do to him tonight.
All right, well, I had to take the long way around that fight to get to victory lane as things are getting heated down on pit road.
Take a picture.
Yeah, we're down here in victory lane now with Luke Turpin, the champagne's flying, the team celebrating. And Luke, let me tell you, this wasn't like usual when you win. You didn't quite just dominate the race today and kill the field like you do sometimes. A good competitive race, though, but in the end, it was your experience that paid off, and you got the 454 car in victory lane. Tell us how you were able to do it. Oh, Luke, you got a copy? Oh, my. Oh, Luke, you got us?
Did you bring the buffalo wings for bribery for him?
I think I'm trying to give him to him. He's just refusing him. He keeps running away from me.
Doesn't want to show his hand.
Oh, wait, here we go. All right, Luca, did you hear my question? Luke Turpin, you got a copy?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Did you hear what I asked you?
Sorry about that. That fight in the pits kind of got me off to the side there. Sorry about that, Petey. So yeah, no, it was a great race. You know, I had a kind of a plan the whole race, and it worked out in the long run. But it's chaos out there, man. It's tough racing when your main focus of the race is dodging people. That's not good. I mean, USA, I was really happy with the way everybody ran this race. I mean, I spent most of my time dodging people. I knew what I had. I just had to get to the end to prove it. I got the 66 up to me because I think he had new tires. I wasn't sure, and I was just going to wear him out and then just lap time him to death at the end. But it's a product of the way everybody's racing right now. I think it'll calm down.
Well, Luke, certainly looked like a fun event here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. This was actually the first time XCAL has ever gone to North Wilkesboro, so tell me, after your first race here with XCAL North Wilkesboro, what do you think about this place?
I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. I like the track layout. It does not suit my style at all. It's kind of one of those diamond corner tracks, and I like the flowing corners. So not my style by any means, but you got to kind of work with what you got. And it was a fun race. I mean, no doubt about it, it's a fun race. Tons of passing everywhere. It's just some things just need to get under control.
10-4, Luke, and as I've asked you last time you won, obviously the big question here in the XCAL offseason, who are you going to sign with? We found out that Ryan Soper Racing is actually kind of out of the contest now, as they've had some issues with suspensions over at that team. But now it looks like K2 Motorsports and Paul Coleman, they're still in the running. I've actually thrown my hat into the ring with Big Block Motorsports. Tanner Kalin and Telesign TV's race team have thrown their hat in the ring. Luke, is there anything you can tell us? We're here in the 1st of December, a month away from the season. Are you any closer to maybe signing with a team?
We're getting close. Like you know, Petey, I got some good buddies over there on your team. Jeff's a good guy. And with K2 there, we got a deal lined up for one race guaranteed. We're going to put it in victory lane for him. And the truck series, man, that's a great series. I'm almost thinking about maybe talking to Paul here. Maybe we get a deal on the K2 truck. Maybe start driving that from the back to the front in the truck race. The truck race was excellent fun.
Petey, you can't see me right now because I'm at the other end of pit lane, but I am smiling.
I'm sure you are, Paul. All right, Luke, well, before we let Paul bother you too much more, who do you want to thank for sponsors and crew on that 454 car?
I just appreciate all the work that goes into this race. XCAL Racing, Aaron, Petey and Paul on the call, Tanner with the video. I'm sure there's some backup admins helping out. It's a great race, man. It is so fun to come here and just drive your nuts off for 300 laps. And then, hey, if you get to win, you get to win. It's your day, I guess.
All right, well, thank you, Luke. That was feature winner Luke Turpin for the second time in 3 weeks. That'll wrap up things here from the broadcast booth. Paul, before we end this broadcast, though, what a great race. 300 laps, only 5 cautions. In the first 200 laps, there's only 3 cautions. I mean, what an excellent event XCAL Racing just put on from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Not only was it clean, the racing was good too. I mean, it feels like the whole race, there was just great battling inside the top 5. Those guys were all over each other all day long, and they kept it clean. Really another staple event like Lanier for XCAL.
Absolutely, and as Luke just said, I mean, just top to bottom, I mean, from the undercard with the super trucks to tonight's race, I mean, the fans came out, they were excited. Great racing in both series. Just, again, like I said, other than the one unfortunate incident with Hendrick there that kind of affected the outcome, I mean, we had everything. We had the North Carolina-style balls like you get at the Madhouse there at Bowman Gray between Octavio and Kenny Tripp. You got the fights. I mean, gave you just a little bit of everything. This is kind of like if you wanted to show a marquee XCAL event that had just a little bit of everything, this is what you got. This was great. I can't wait to come back here again next season.
And Paul, the fights on pit road are still going on, by the way. The 66 of Kendrick Crayer, after his interview, he actually, I think he pulled himself together good for that interview. He ran down to the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. They're having a conversation. Tripp and Rondoletto are still exchanging words. For some reason, Aquinas LaBeouf is mad at Josh Rogers. They're having a conversation down there right now. And I think that's how you know it was a great race, when there's not a lot of cautions, but after the race, half the teams on pit road are yelling at each other.
Absolutely. You know what? We need to get either talk to Dale Jr. or whatever, see if we can get like an octagon or something built here in the middle of the thing, and we can just, post-race. Because, again, we got a big crowd. There's only one lane in. Some of the crowd may want to hang around and think, if we could just get these guys in an octagon, let them have it out for, 3 5-minute rounds, or, probably they're a little out of shape. So maybe 1 5-minute round, but whatever else, start promoting some fights, I think, for our next go-round. I think we're on to something.
All right, Paul, and an epic race here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway, but we're going to wrap things up. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing. On behalf of my broadcast partner today, Paul Coleman Jr., thank you, Paul, so much for joining me. You make my job easier and keep me entertained all day long. On behalf of Tanner Kalin and all the great people at Telesign TV who make what we do here on the broadcast possible, Aaron Hillbush and all the great people at XCAL Racing who put these races on and make the great racing possible. On behalf of feature winner tonight, Luke Turpin, we are done here at Telesign TV. We'll be back same time next week from the Oxford Plains. That should be a doozy. See you next week.